Okay, so after regressing, our MC Mu Wuyan suspects his cold girlfriend is also a returner. She actually knows he wasn't the one who drugged her and that it was all her scheming stepsister's trap. But here is the heartbreaking part. She only realized this after watching him get blown up to save her. That was when absolute regret hit her. Now, Yue Tongxue opens her eyes and looks around in shock. Before she can process anything, a sudden burning wave of heat starts rushing wildly through her body. It flushes her cheeks bright red, making her let out a soft, involuntary gasp. Why is her body burning up? She quickly snaps her head up to look around. No shot! She actually regressed to the exact night she was drugged, remembering how he died saving her. Tears instantly stream down Yue Tongxue's face as she looks at the sofa right in front of her. In her past life, this was the exact room where she and Mu Wuyan ended up together. Right after, her evil stepsister Yue Lanhua brought a massive crowd of banquet guests to catch them red-handed. That completely ruined her reputation, turning her into the laughingstock and outcast of high society. Everyone looked down on her, and back then, she blamed every single bit of it on Mu Wuyan. She spent half her life hating him like a monster, despising him for taking her innocence. She hated him for ruining her pride and for making it absolutely impossible for her to face her childhood sweetheart, completely destroying any chance of her ever finding true happiness. She hated how he forced her into marriage, wishing countless times she could go back and change this nightmare. She always wondered, if this day had never happened, would her life have ended differently? But now that she is actually back, there is absolutely no joy in her heart. Because now she knows the truth, and she realizes just how horribly she misjudged him. Right before her death in her past life, Yue Lanhua finally spilled the beans. The entire setup had absolutely nothing to do with Mu Wuyan. He was completely innocent. Suffering from the drug, Yue Tongxue bites her lip hard, waiting for the events of her past life to play out. He has to show up. As the seconds tick by, the tension is unreal. She grits her teeth, fighting with everything she has to keep from making a single sound. Suddenly, the door creaks open, and Yue Tongxue pinches herself hard to stay sharp. She desperately gasps out, "Is that you?" But instead of Mu Wuyan, a creepy, bloated guy walks in. The creep smirks, calling her his little beauty, and Yue Tongxue's heart completely drops. Wait, is this the disgusting guy her stepsister actually hired to ruin her back then? In her past life, she was already blacked out by now and had no clue what really went down. All she knew was waking up next to Mu Wuyan. Meanwhile, the creep Wang Shun laughs about his insane luck. He brags about finally getting to taste a rich heiress as he slowly closes in on her. Mumbling disgusting words, he keeps coming, while Yue Tongxue fights back her pure nausea. She grabs whatever she can reach on the table and hurls it straight at him, screaming at him to get lost. But Wang Shun easily ducks the flying objects and corners her right against the sofa. He rubs his hands together, his eyes filled with pure, disgusting greed. He tells her to just give in because absolutely nobody is coming to save her. As his fat hand reaches for her, Yue Tongxue grabs the very last teacup left on the table. She smashes it right against his hand, and the cup shatters on the floor. Wang Shun just sneers, completely unfazed by her struggle. He laughs that she has nothing left to throw, and absolute despair starts creeping into her heart. Is she really doomed tonight? But then, boom, the door is violently kicked open. The force of the door slams Wang Shun right onto the floor, and in walks Mu Wuyan in a black trench coat. With a freezing glare, he sends a devastating kick straight into the creep's ribs. Wang Shun screams in absolute agony, instantly begging him to spare his life. The thug screams he didn't do a thing and swears he didn't even touch her. He claims someone else hired him, but Mu Wuyan isn't trying to hear it. Mu Wuyan just stomps right on his hand and grinds his shoe down hard. Bones crunch as Wang Shun screams in agony. That hand is completely ruined. Mu Wuyan's eyes are deadly cold, like ice that hasn't melted in 10,000 years. Honestly, the thug is crying inside because he really didn't touch her. If he knew this would happen, he'd never have taken this job. With broken ribs and in total pain, Yi looks up at him. But she's completely out of it now, her body burning up. She claws at her clothes while Mu Wuyan orders his men to drag the thug away. Of course, he's sending him straight to the cops. Then Mu Wuyan slips off his coat. He wraps Yue up, scoops her up, and leaves. Honestly, guys, Mu Wuyan never expected he'd actually get a second chance at life. In his past life, he saved Yue in this exact room, facing his dream girl. Back then, he couldn't control himself and slept with her, living with endless regret. It was a mess. But right now, he just carries Yue to the car. He tells his driver Lao Lin to find a hotel while pinning her squirming hands. Holding her tightly in his arms, he watches Yue's face turn flushed red. Her eyes are so heavy and seductive that he starts sweating, unable to look. He forces his gaze away and takes a deep breath to suppress his desire. Pain flashes in his eyes as he whispers that this time he's letting her go. Their tragic past started right here, so this is where he has to change everything. At the hotel, Mu Wuyan kicks the door open. He gently lays her on the bed and immediately calls a doctor to rush over. Delirious from the heat, Yue tears at her clothes, exposing her pale skin. She feels like she's literally burning alive as she weakly calls his name. Hearing her call his name, Mu Wuyan completely freezes as his expression turns serious. She's actually calling for him, making his cold, sharp eyes soften just a little. With long strides, he walks over to the bed and leans in closer to listen. Yue feels like she's burning with a massive fever, her mind completely in a haze. Her skin is scorching hot, like she's swimming in boiling liquid lava. She claws at herself wildly, just trying to feel any bit of cool air. Anything to stop the heat. But then, she touches something. Her burning hand brushes against something cool, like finding ice in the lava. Desperate for relief, her weak fingers tightly grasp this one source of coldness. Yue instantly panics as the ice starts to pull away. She uses her hands and feet to wrap entirely around him, begging him not to go. Her skin is burning as she wraps around Mu Wuyan like a desperate, tangled vine. Mu Wuyan hides the deep, complicated storm in his eyes and doesn't hesitate. Coldly, he pulls her off and drops her onto the bed like a helpless cocoon. She wriggles around, sobbing and begging him to help her through the agonizing heat. In his past life, seeing this and breathing in the heavy aphrodisiac ruined his control. He couldn't hold back then, immediately pulling her close to take what he wanted. He'd kissed those lips he always dreamed of and held her through the night. But now, Mu Wuyan just looks away with a cold face, taking 2 steps back. Thinking back to her cold and ruthless attitude in their past life makes his chest tighten up. Forget her. She only has hatred for him anyway. Yue Tongxue in this life, they have no connection. They won't even contact each other. No more drama and no more meeting up ever again. That's what he tells himself, but his eyes still drift toward her beautiful, tear-filled gaze. He freezes for a moment. Yue Tongxue's eyes are always so captivating, yet utterly cold. Right now, those eyes are flushed red with raw desire, making her look insanely alluring. In their past life, it was this exact gaze that stole his soul the second he saw her. From that day on, he was completely obsessed, dreaming about her day and night. He couldn't eat, sleep, or focus on anything except her. He loved absolutely nobody else. Bro, Mu Wuyan was seriously down bad in his past life. In this life, he cannot let those eyes steal his soul and break his heart all over again. While he silently warns himself, the sudden chime of the doorbell echoes through the room. He snaps out of it, covering the girl with a blanket and smoothing his wrinkled shirt. When he opens the door, his cold expression is back. Dr. Mo, the family doctor, steps inside. Carrying her medical kit, she is quickly ushered inside to check on the distressed girl. Mu Wuyan shoves his hands in his pockets and takes a step back. He clears the way. Luckily, Dr. Mo is his family's highly trusted private physician. As a top-tier medical genius, she quickly treats Yue Tongxue's condition without any fuss. With a quiet nod, the doctor leaves, and the door shuts. Silence fills the room again, and this time, there are no painful cries from Yue Tongxue. She finally falls asleep, while he looks down at her with a heavy heart. Leaning against the wall, he is lost in thought before sitting down on the sofa. He sits there in silence until dawn, which is when Yue Tongxue finally opens her eyes. Looking around at the unfamiliar room, she suddenly bolts upright in a panic.
Her head is splitting, and she quickly looks down to find she is still in yesterday's clothes.
They are a bit rumpled, but she is absolutely certain that nothing happened last night.
Her body has no marks, and she doesn't feel anything out of the ordinary.
In her past life, she woke up feeling incredibly sore and bruised. It was a sharp, tearing pain, but now she is just in a hotel room.
She distinctly remembers that the last person she saw before passing out was actually Mu Wuyan.
Why is this so different from before? Suddenly, his deep, icy voice cuts through the quiet. Yue Tongxue gasps in shock, instinctively pulling the blanket up to her chin. Her eyes are filled with pure suspicion, but his expression remains completely blank.
Seeing her guard up like this pricks his heart like a tiny needle. It is a dull, lingering pain, but he slowly forces himself to numb it.
Honestly, he should be used to this by now. Once she realizes it is him, Yue Tongxue slowly relaxes her tense body, though she is still incredibly confused. She points a finger at him, asking if they did anything. His voice is slightly raspy. "Rest assured," he replies coldly, "I did not touch you."
He tells her he called a doctor last night, leaving Yue Tongxue completely baffled.
Looking at his youthful face, she is shocked to see an icy maturity that belongs 10 years in the future. Mu Wuyan frowns slightly, sensing that something about her seems a bit off too. Yue Tongxue is acting way too calm, except for that split second of panic earlier. After that brief moment of fear, she has been entirely silent. But no matter what, in this lifetime, he is absolutely done playing her games.
Spending this final night with her was his last act of kindness. From now on, they are completely done.
Swallowing the bitter pain deep inside, Mu Wuyan coldly calls out to Yue Tongxue.
He tells her he won't bother her anymore and they should never see each other again. He says they shouldn't even meet in the next life, but in that split second.
Those exact tragic words from his past life ring in her ears, and a shocking realization hits her. Yue Tongxue throws off the blanket, frantically rushes out of bed, and grabs his arm before he can leave. He turns back with nothing but confusion in his eyes. Her voice trembles as she begs to know if Mu Wuyan returned to the past as well. Hearing this, his eyes instantly widen in pure shock as the truth hits him. Yue Tongxue throws herself into his arms and clings tightly to his waist, sobbing silently as tears soak his shirt. She calls him a fool, crying over why he had to die with her in their past life.
She had misunderstood him for so many years, realizing she owed him everything. Thankfully, they both return to the past, and she vows that they will finally make things work.
She promises to give him absolutely anything he wants, but as he looks down at her, his calm exterior completely shatters, leaving him feeling utterly torn. He honestly thought he was the only regressor here, but turns out it is a double regression plot twist! In their past life, Yue Tongxue hated him for using schemes to marry her, treating him like complete air. 10 whole years of marriage where she did not say a single word to him. 10 years of cold neglect and silent treatment. Now that he is back, there is absolutely no way he is going to experience that soul-crushing agony again. His eyes snap open. With cold determination, he firmly pushes her out of his embrace. He calmly tells Yue Tongxue that he is letting her go. Please, let me go too. He wants her to love whoever she actually wants and live her own life. Everything between them ends right here, and hearing this, Yue Tongxue completely freezes in shock. She looks up at him with trembling eyes, tears spilling over. Shaking her head wildly, she desperately grabs his hand and begs him in a weeping voice not to do this. She cries out, pleading with him to stay together and not abandon her. Talk about a crazy plot twist, guys! Our boy is now certain his cold ex is a regressor too. She finally knows he was not the one who drugged her back then, realizing it was all her scheming fake sister. But she only realized the truth when she watched him get blown to pieces to save her. Only in death did she regret her coldness, and at this moment, Mu Wuyan just looks down. Hiding the deep exhaustion and pain in his eyes, his gaze slowly drops to their locked hands. Bit by bit, he gently but firmly pulls his own hand out of her tight grasp. With a deadpan expression, he asks Yue Tongxue if she knows how much it hurt to love her. Endless sorrow completely suffocates his heart, leaving him totally drained and holding zero expectations.
He does not believe her promises of love, and he definitely does not think they can ever be happy together. Yue Tongxue stares blankly at her empty palms, her voice cracking with a wave of unstoppable grief. Sobbing in regret, she begs for another chance, asking if he truly stopped loving her. But he just shakes his head. Some scars run too deep. Just like an old wound, it still aches terribly whenever the weather gets cold, and it will never truly heal. Loving her is just too painful for him now, so he begs her to let him go while ignoring her tragic, pleading eyes. He turns his back and walks away, leaving Yue Tongxue to collapse onto the floor. She curls into a tight ball, burying her face in her knees as she weeps silently. What is she supposed to do now that the man who loved her unconditionally for over a decade has abandoned her? From this moment on, she is completely alone. Meanwhile, Mu Wuyan walks out of the hotel. Alright, so our regression main character heads home alone and drinks her sorrows away. Deciding to stop loving him is literally like tearing out half her heart. A single tear slips into her glass right before she accidentally knocks it over. The leftover red wine spills everywhere, staining her pristine white cashmere rug a deep crimson. Yue Tongxue cries herself to sleep, her dreams flooded with her past self, the girl who used to constantly revolve around him. Always trying everything just to get his attention. But when he wakes up to an empty hotel room, everything changes. He feels completely hollow inside, as if a piece of his soul was carved out. Slowly shaking off the grief, he finally begins to rationally think through the massive misunderstanding between them. It all started with that setup, and the mastermind behind everything was her stepsister Yue Lanhua. She is literally the worst. Yue Tongxue masks her emotions and prepares to head back. She has a serious score to settle with that snake. Later that night at the family villa, Chen Julian opens the door for Yue Tongxue. Inside the living room, everyone is just hanging out and doing their own thing. It looks like a perfectly warm, happy family, completely ignoring her arrival. They treat Yue Tongxue like she is invisible, until she hears her mother, Bai Yan, speak up. She mentions that Zhou Shuqing and Chun Yan are coming over, so they need to prepare some extra dishes. Yue Tongxue freezes because Chun Yan was the boy who literally defined her entire youth. He is the one person she could never face, especially since in her past life, he caught her red-handed. They were walked in on together, and the sheer disappointment in his eyes back then still hurts. It absolutely crushed her soul back when their families were still planning an arranged marriage. Chun Yan's mother, Zhou Shuqing, wanted Yue Tongxue as her daughter-in-law, not Yue Lanhua. But after that terrible scandal went down, not only did Chun Yan witness the setup, but his mother did too. Auntie Zhao saw her in that ruined state too, quietly swapping the marriage target to Yue Lanhua instead. Snapping back to reality, she forces herself to block out those painful past life nightmares. Her expression turns completely blank as she calmly steps into the room. The second she enters the living room, the family continues to act like she does not even exist. In her past life, she would have rushed to the kitchen to help, desperately trying to please her mother. But honestly, when you are simply not loved, no amount of effort will ever be enough. That is low-key heartbreaking. This time, she does not even give them a second glance and heads straight upstairs to her bedroom. A bunch of ungrateful snakes, and she is officially done. Our girl is built different now. Letting them play their happy little family game, she immediately calls up her school advisor. She requests to transfer her household registration to the campus, cutting all ties with this toxic household for good. By dinner time, Yue Tongxue heads downstairs to find Bai Yan already chatting warmly with Zhou Shuqing. While Yue Lanhua is busy buzzing around Chunian, the second Tongxue walks in. The room goes dead silent. Bai Yan squeezes out a stiff, fake smile, asking when on earth she got back. She claims she did not see her, but Tongxue calmly replies that she was probably just busy cooking. Yue Tongxue remains completely unfazed, refusing to play the obedient servant and serve them food. Since the scandal has not happened in this timeline yet, Zhou Shuqing is still incredibly welcoming. Still treating her as her dream daughter-in-law, she calls out to her immediately, telling her to sit down and eat, fussing over how thin she looks. Seeing Zhou Shuqing act so friendly only makes Yue Tongxue remember her previous life, and it is wild. She cannot forget the cold, disgusted looks from back then, so she greets her with polite distance. She takes a seat as far away from the group as possible and quietly eats. Not saying a single word, she has absolutely zero desire to blend into this family. Zhou Shuqing teases her, asking why she is sitting so far and why she is not talking to Chunyan. Wondering if they have suddenly grown apart, Yue Tongxue slowly raises her eyes. Her crystal-clear gaze meets Chunyan's directly. Their eyes meet across the room, and he just gives her this low-key, smug smirk. Seeing this, Yue Lanhua gets immediately annoyed because she absolutely detests Chunyan. She locks her eyes on Yue Tongxue next, but seeing her sister standing there completely fine is a massive shock. She is so confused because her thugs from last night were supposed to ruin her. How did they fail? Still, Yue Lanhua starts plotting. Who exactly did her sister spend the night with? She acts all innocent and asks her sister where she was last night since she never came home.
Hearing this, Bai Yan immediately frowns and demands to know why Yue Tongxue stayed out all night.
Yue Tongxue just sneers inside. Why did she not come home? Yue Lanhua knows the truth better than anyone. Imagine not even realizing your own daughter was missing. Zhou Shuqing just frowns slightly at the drama. Now everyone is staring at Yue Tongxue, waiting for her to dig her own grave. See, the Chu family is super traditional, so they would never let a wild girl marry in. Yue Tongxue just sits there, calmly reading the room and scanning their fake faces. She casually drops a lie. I left the party early. She claims she hung out with some old classmates and crashed at their place because it got too late. Yue Lanhua isn't buying this for a second because she knows her sister's friend group is literally non-existent. She smirks and asks if this mysterious friend is a guy or a girl.
She keeps pushing, asking for a name and if she knows them.
You do not know her, Yue Tongxue says, completely shutting her down because she has zero energy for this. That is when Yue Lanhua's twin brother, Yue Wuji, chimes in with the most sarcastic attitude ever. He sneers, asking who she is trying to fool since she has zero female friends. He straight up accuses her of running off to hook up with some random guy. Usually, Yue Tongxue would just look down and take his insults, but today, this is where she finally decides to stop being a pushover. She puts down her chopsticks, looks him dead in the eye, and points out she is 20 years old now. She asks if she needs family permission to make friends, then exposes him for hitting up hotels with girls. She asks what right he has to judge her, and Yue Wuji is completely speechless. He cannot believe she is actually clapping back, since she usually just rolls over and takes it. Hiding his panic, he tells her to stop lying and demands to know when he ever did that. She asks if he wants her to pull out the photo proof, making him instantly sweat. He stammers that even if he did, it does not mean anything shady actually happened there. He calls her dirty-minded, but she just stares at him. Like, who goes to a hotel to study? Remembering all the wild drama he caused in her past life, she decides to drop another bomb. She asks why he took a married woman to a hotel, and suddenly the entire table freezes. Yue Wuji goes pale and panics, telling everyone not to listen to her crazy lies. What married woman? He claims she is just trying to deflect because she is the one with the trashy reputation. The family looks back and forth. It is obvious they are siding with him, and Yue Tongxue is officially done playing nice. She grabs her glass of orange juice and splashes it straight into his face. His wet hair sticks flat to his scalp. Yue Wuji kicks his chair back, screaming at her and asking if she has lost her mind. Yue Tongxue fires back, telling him she's just washing his trash mouth out for him. She says she might be messy, but she is nowhere near as dirty as a homewrecker. She asks if ruining families makes him feel powerful, and he just screams that she is lying. Yue Wuji is sweating bullets now, knowing he cannot admit to this no matter what. If his dad finds out, he is literally dead meat, and Yue Tongxue just watches him squirm. She laughs, remembering how in her past life, some angry husband beat up Yue Wuji for being a total gigolo. Yu Shuting slowly wipes her hands, calmly asking Yue Tongxue if she actually has any proof to back up that claim. Her amber eyes lock onto her, clearly showing she is not happy about this family drama. But Yue Tongxue fires back, asking why he gets to run his mouth without any proof whatsoever. Yu Shuting is honestly stunned. Since when did her usually quiet sister get this sharp-tongued? Believe it or not, Yue Tongxue snaps, slamming her chopsticks down.
She ignores everyone's completely shocked faces and just storms straight back to her room.
Remembering how much her toxic family hated her in her past life, she is now locked on a single goal.
She just needs the perfect window, which arrives when her dad and aunt head out for a vacation.
They tell her to watch the younger kids, but honestly, Yue Shuting is already 24. She just graduated and is already running the family company like a boss.
With the parents gone and Yue Shuting busy at the office, the house is wide open.
Yu Wuji is out fooling around somewhere, and even the nanny took a few days off. Now, only Yue Tongxue and her sister Yue Lanhua are left. Her moment has officially arrived.
Okay, so after waking up, she suspects her high-cold stepsister might also be a regressor. This is getting wild. She knows she was framed for the drugging and that it was all their fake sister's evil plan.
In her past life, she only realized the truth and regretted everything when she watched Yue Tongxue die to save her.
Right now, Yue Lanhua's just chilling on her bed, completely unbothered, scrolling through her phone.
She is humming a little tune, swinging her legs, living her best life without a care.
Meanwhile, Yue Tongxue is quietly packing up all of her clothes into bags. She sneaks into Bai Yan's room, grabs the household registry, and tears out her own page. With everything set, she marches right into Yue Lanhua's room. Yue Lanhua glares, demanding to know what she wants since nobody else is home.
Since they are alone, Yue Lanhua does not even bother pretending to be a loving sister anymore.
She drops the sweet act completely, her voice dripping with pure annoyance.
Staring at this spoiled brat, Yue Tongxue feels all the rage from her past life boiling up. The anger is rising, and she demands to know what kind of drug Yue Lanhua used on her. But Yue Lanhua just plays dumb, acting like she has no idea while staring at her phone. You know exactly what drug Yue Tongxue snaps, charging right at her. She snatches the phone right out of her hand and smashes it onto the floor.
Before she can react, Yue Tongxue pins her onto the bed. Yue Lanhua is pretty thin. She is barely 5 feet tall and has always been weak. Pinning her down is too easy, leaving the spoiled brat with zero chance to fight back.
Yue Lanhua screams, asking Yue Tongxue what she is doing and if she has lost her mind. Yue Tongxue demands to know what she ever did to deserve being ruined like this.
She is her actual sister, and she literally saved her life when they were 9.
With her eyes turning red, she demands to know why she would betray her like this.
2 lifetimes of pure misery and betrayal? Honestly, I would be losing my mind too.
It is payback time for both lifetimes, but Yue Lanhua just screams at her to let go. Looking at the absolute fury in her eyes, Yue Lanhua finally starts to panic. She has no idea what is wrong with her, wondering if the drugging incident broke her.
Yue Lanhua sneers, asking who she actually slept with that night.
Mocking her, she asks if she really got ruined by some random guy. Before she can finish, Yue Tongxue shuts her up with a massive slap to the face. Yue Lanhua shrieks, absolutely shocked that she actually had the guts to hit her.
Yue Lanhua is in absolute disbelief after getting called a heartless, ungrateful wretch.
You viper-hearted snake! I am slapping you precisely because you have no conscience!
Yue Tongxue cries as she delivers a few more slaps. In her past life, if not for Yue Lanhua,
he would have never misunderstood her for so long, if not for Yue Lanhua.
They wouldn't have died either. Yue Lanhua screams for her to stop. Are you crazy?
You dare hit me? Mom, Dad, and our brother will definitely never let you off.
Yue Lanhua gets absolutely rocked by those slaps, tears of pure pain welling up. Having weak health since childhood, she was always the spoiled darling of the family. Even her little brother had to pamper her. She has never been beaten like this.
Yue Tongxue's eyes are bloodshot as she holds back tears, pouring all her strength into another slap.
Oh, they won't let me off? Honestly, so what? Yue Lanhua, aren't you just terrified I will steal away your precious dad?
Your mom, and even your brother!
And even your little brother! Yue Tongxue screams, slapping her repeatedly through her tears. She hysterically cries out, "It is all yours, everything is yours!"
Fine, I do not want any of it anymore. I am completely done with this toxic family.
You are insane, completely out of your mind, Yue Lanhua shrieks back.
See, Yue Tongxue used to care about family more than anything, desperately craving her parents' approval. especially her mother's love. There is no way she just stopped caring out of nowhere. With her swollen face burning in agonizing pain, Yue Lanhua finally cannot take the beating anymore and faints. After delivering God knows how many brutal slaps, Yue Tongxue's hands have gone completely numb.
She finally lets go of her sister, wipes her tears, grabs her backpack, and walks out of that toxic house.
From this moment on, she is never coming back to this place. Starting today, she is a homeless kid again. Honestly, this is so heartbreaking, but that is her fate. She hails a cab straight to the airport and boards her flight. She is heading straight back to school. Honestly, maybe people just shouldn't beg for things they were never meant to have. Finally, her plane touches down. She is back in Sha City. She got into the top university here and is starting her sophomore year. Standing right in front of the familiar campus gates, Yue Tongxue is hit with overwhelming emotions. For her, looking back at this incredibly vibrant college life that was overflowing with youth, it was actually 10 years ago. Thank goodness she regressed back to her college days for a fresh start. No shot she could have passed the exams for this top-tier university a second time. Walking down the shaded path, she spots a massive field of bright orange flowers. Standing right there in that very spot, her faded memories of the past are suddenly unlocked by the magic of time. Once upon a time, right here.
Someone went all out to pull off a massive grand confession with pink balloons filling the entire sky.
There were brilliant fireworks and a huge crowd of onlookers cheering them on. But it ended in complete failure. You studied like crazy for 2 extra years, first getting into a decent college. But you chose to repeat a year, which is how you ended up as Yue Tongxue's classmate. Both of you made it into Zhao University. You chose economics. While she majored in computer science, you were the absolute star of the campus. The ultimate popular golden boy. She was the cold and distant department beauty, and yet she constantly rejected you. Still, you chased after her like absolute glue, never giving up. Now, all those memories of you flood back into Yue Tongxue's mind like a tidal wave, but in this lifetime, you told her you never want to see her again. You said you do not love her anymore. The guy who always chased her is finally gone. Yue Tongxue kicks a small pebble on the path, quietly wiping away a tear. Wiping away a stray tear, Yue Tongxue buries her heartbreak deep down and calls roommate Shui Man to come get her. Downstairs, she spots a girl sprinting out in ridiculous SpongeBob pajamas. Complete with a matching yellow headband, seeing her best friend instantly unlocks a flood of long-buried warm memories.
Her eyes instantly well up. It has been so many years.
She never thought she would see Shui Man again, who was currently running towards her in floppy slippers. Yue Tongxue throws her arms around her best friend, quietly wiping away a fresh tear. Man hugs her back and softly asks, Shui, what happened to you?
Shui Man is totally shocked.
Honestly, Yue Tongxue is normally super introverted, almost never wearing her heart on her sleeve like this. Yue Tongxue pulls back and delivers the heartbreaking news she just completely broke ties with her family. From today on, she has no family left. Hearing this, Shui Man is completely stunned. She has no idea how to comfort her, but just imagining being abandoned by her own family is heartbreaking.
It must be absolutely soul-crushing. Feeling her pain, she hugs Yue Tongxue and tells her it is okay. You still have us, and dorm room 506 is your home now.
A wave of warmth washes over Yue Tongxue, deeply touching her bruised heart. Stepping into the dorm, she sees her bed is covered in thick dust, so she wipes it down twice and starts packing. They clean up and start binging a show together, until the phone rings. It is an unknown number, and the second she picks up, someone on the other end starts screaming questions. They immediately start screaming, asking if she is crazy.
How dare you lay a hand on your younger sister and leave her in such a terrible state?
Where are you? Get your ass back here right now and crawl on your knees to apologize to Lanhua. She pulls the phone away, instantly recognizing her dear mother, Madame Bai Yan. Without saying a single word, Yue Tongxue just hangs up. Honestly, she knew these toxic people wouldn't leave her alone, which is why she already blacklisted their actual numbers. Her phone is not even on speaker, but Bai Yan was screaming so loudly that the room shakes.
Shoeman heard every single word, pausing her tablet to look at her friend with pure worry.
Another unknown number call flashes. She answers, keeping it far away.
Next up, we get her absolute nightmare of an arrogant brother, Yue Wuji, screaming that she is worthless trash.
How dare you lay hands on my sister? I will skin you alive when I find you. But she does not stay silent.
Once his rant ends, she calmly whispers two sharp words, "Mistress's brat." He instantly freezes, and she immediately hangs up to block him.
You just know Yue Wuji is throwing an absolute childish tantrum on the other end. Right after that call ends, another one rings, and Yue Tongxue answers it without batting an eye. This caller sounds much more composed, but his voice is incredibly heavy. A cold anger brews beneath his voice as he tells her she went way too far. No matter what, Lanhua's still your younger sister, so how could you beat her up like that? Come back home immediately, apologize to her, and beg for her forgiveness. Yue Tongxue looks completely calm, her voice freezing as she asks why nobody wonders why she hit her. But the second those words leave her mouth, she regrets it because she already knows their answer. Honestly, they only ever care if their precious Yue Lanhua gets hurt. She coldly tells him to pass a message to Madame Bai Yan. They are officially dead to her. The Ye family is officially dead to her because she owes them nothing.
Stop bothering me, got it?
Sure, the Yue family threw some money at her for basic food, clothes, and school.
But she literally donated her own bone marrow to Yue Lanhua, saving her life in return.
She never owed the Yue family anything, and after a tense silence, the caller snaps, demanding to know what she is playing at. They tell her to hurry back and apologize, but she has already said everything she wanted to. Yue Tongxue is done with the drama, so she just hangs up.
She powers down the phone and throws the SIM card straight into the trash.
Watching this, her friend Shuman is absolutely stunned.
Like, are these people actually her family or straight up enemies?
Honestly, Shuman completely understands why she wants to cut them off.
She wants to comfort her friend, but she is at a total loss for words. Yue Tongxue uses one of those classic romance dramas to explain the situation.
In the Yue family, my sister is the main character who can do absolutely no wrong.
Everyone brainlessly defends her while I am just the cannon fodder.
They expect the side character to grovel at their feet forever.
Shui Man falls silent, finally getting the picture.
No shot. She is completely done talking about them. She asks her friend to help her get a new SIM card, and Shui Man immediately gets ready. After getting the card, Yue Tongxue starts resetting all her apps. Once everything is linked to the new number, she deletes every single contact from the Yue family. No more ties to them. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jin Shimo is stressing out. He heard that Yue Tongxue officially broke with her family and vowed never to return. Saying he is not worried would be a total lie, so he hesitates for a moment. Finally, he calls his roommate Bu Yuntian, who picks up, wondering why his buddy is calling. Bu Yuntian sounds incredibly lazy, clearly having just woken up.
Shimo does not waste any time and gets straight to the point, asking for a quick favor.
He asks him to check if Yue Tongxue is back at school, leaving Bu Yuntian speechless. Still, he gets dressed anyway and tries to fix his messy hair. He asks if they had a fight, but Shimo just tells him it is complicated. All he wants is to know she is safe, so Bu Yuntian promises to check. Hanging up, Bu Yuntian finally drags himself out of bed. But right as he drives up to the school gate, he facepalms. Talk about a brain fart. He could have just asked her roommates directly. Why did he even drive all this way? He quickly messages Shu Qinghe instead.
A reply comes in fast, showing a screenshot of their dorm group chat.
He forwards the screenshot straight to Jin Shimo. Telling him she is already back, Shimo simply replies that he got it. He thanks him, hangs up, and rubs his temples, finally letting out a quiet sigh of relief. But remembering the harsh words he said to her earlier, he suddenly feels incredibly awkward. Even if he is trying to move on, these things take time. He literally swears to get over her this time or he is a total clown. Meanwhile, Shu Qinghe tags her in the dorm chat, saying that Shimo is looking for her. She says he is searching everywhere, but Yue Tongxue just replies that she knows. Yue Tongxue scrolls back through her chat history to find his profile. The last message was from before the break, where he asked her to wait so they could travel together. She never replied, and she definitely did not wait.
Leaving him on red, she looks back on those memories. She goes quiet, realizing just how cold she was to him. How did he even survive chasing her for so many years? Did his heart not break? Her fingers linger on the screen while the pot of soup bubbles with heat.
Thick steam rises, completely blurring Yue Tongxue's vision as she stares at it.
A bitter feeling wells up inside her. She actually regrets her choices now.
It feels like she let go of a boy whose entire world revolved around her.
But she was totally worrying about him just now. He definitely still has her heart.
For the first time ever, Yue Tongxue actually texts him first, saying she arrived at school. She even tells him not to worry and that she is waiting, but her message gets completely ignored.
Our boy Mu Wuyan sees the screen light up, but just chooses to ignore it.
Over on the campus court, his buddy Gu Yuntian collapses onto the floor, completely exhausted. Gu Yuntian begs him to call it a day, asking what has gotten into him.
Mu Wuyan was absolutely dominating them on the court. They stood zero chance against him.
Mu Wuyan finally grabs the ball and sits down on a bench near the hoop.
He just stares down at his shoes, looking incredibly frustrated and down.
Gu Yuntian drags himself off the floor, sits right next to him and asks, "Did Yue Tongxue reject you again? Is that why you were venting all this anger on us?"
Mu Wuyan looks up, giving his friend a bone-chilling glare. He tells them to never mention her name again, leaving Gu Yuntian completely confused.
It seems Yue Tongxue must have done something crazy to offend him this badly. Mu Wuyan coldly states that he does not like her anymore, so they should drop it.
His cold explanation leaves Gu Yuntian and their other roommates standing there in utter shock.
Feng Mingjie is highly skeptical, since he went to the same high school as him. Mu Wuyan chasing her back then was legendary, and the school still talks about it.
Feng Mingjie snatches the ball from him with a smirk, telling him to stop capping. He says Mu Wuyan claims he is over her now, but after one good sleep, he will go right back to being madly in love. Mu Wuyan just glares at him.
His face is dark, and his voice is colder than ice as he says he is serious.
If anyone mentions her name again, their brotherhood is officially over. He storms off, leaving Gu Yuntian and Feng Mingjie staring at each other in disbelief. They can tell he is actually furious, but they still cannot fully believe it. So they make a bet. The loser has to clean the dorm for an entire month.
Leaving his annoying roommates behind, Mu Wuyan walks toward the exit with his head down.
Suddenly, a familiar and beautiful voice calls out, "Mu Wuyan!"
She never could have imagined that this guy, who used to chase her so aggressively,
would actually end up dying in an explosion just to save her in another life.
Right before dying, his trembling body held on just to say her name one last time. He told her he hopes they never meet again, leaving her crying in absolute despair. This was the man she spent half her life hating with every fiber of her being.
Yet he loved her just as long, even choosing to die alongside her.
But in this current timeline, they are supposed to have absolutely no connection anymore. Mu Wuyan turns around slowly, his voice flat as he asks if she wants something.
Yue Tongxue lowers her head, murmuring that she just wanted to try her luck here.
She wanted to see him and actually ran into him, but he does not say a word. She says she'll leave since he is just standing there in cold silence.
Mu Wuyan simply frowns and takes a step forward to leave her behind. Yue Tongxue panics, reaching out to grab Mu Wuyan by the arm. He stares down at her hand on his sleeve, his voice cold and completely empty of emotion. Her face turns completely red as he tells her to keep her hands to herself. She quickly lets go, stammering an apology while he tells her to spit it out. Claiming he needs to get some sleep, he takes a step back to put distance between them. Deliberately keeping his distance, his cold rejection causes her delicate eyebrows to knit in distress. Honestly, she is a total introvert with some pretty severe social anxiety.
Socializing is definitely not her strong suit, and his icy attitude is only making things worse.
Freezing up, she struggles to find the words before finally whispering his name, Mu Wuyan. In a quiet whisper, she confesses that she wants to pursue him under the dark night sky. Under the dim glow of the streetlight, she cannot tell what he is thinking. Meanwhile, his roommates, Gu Yuntian and Feng Mingjie, happen to walk up and catch every single word. Both of them stand there in absolute shock, their jaws dropping to the floor.
Bro, what did they just hear? Did Yue Tongxue just confess to Mu Wuyan?
Mu Wuyan stands in silence for 2 long seconds. Mu Wuyan stands in silence for 2 long seconds. Mu Wuyan stands in silence for 2 long seconds. With a cold rejection, he walks away, leaving a heartbroken Yue Tongxue behind. His stunned roommates are left frozen on the spot, unable to believe he just rejected her. Eyes filled with deep disappointment, she silently turns and walks away.
Gu Yuntian rubs his eyes and pinches Fang Mingjie to make sure he's not dreaming. Staring in disbelief, he asks if his eyes are playing tricks on him.
Fang Mingjie is too stunned to even complain about being pinched.
With a thoroughly confused expression, he wonders how summer break changed everything. Talk about an absolute plot twist. Yue Tongxue finally heads back to her dorm. Her roommates are already there, but she keeps her usual emotionless poker face. Since they are used to her quiet nature, they do not think much of it. Sitting down at her desk, Yue Tongxue leans back and lets out a soft sigh. Her friend Shui Man is the first to notice something is wrong and asks what is up. Noticing the sadness, she asks what is wrong as Yue Tongxue struggles to reply.
In a soft voice, she confesses that she wants to win him back. But having no idea how to do it completely shocks her roommates.
Desperate to know who managed to pull this off, they all scream in unison. Who could possibly make their school's most passive, gorgeous girl take the initiative? Stared down by all 3 of them, Yue Tongxue blushes with embarrassment. The moment she mentions Mu Wuyan, all 3 girls immediately lose interest. Completely unimpressed, Xu Qinghe simply goes back to applying her face mask. She scoffs, saying that getting him should be as simple as snapping her fingers. The other 2 nod in agreement, making Yue Tongxue's face turn even redder. Blushing, she struggles to explain that she made him incredibly angry. Although he wants nothing to do with her now, she deeply regrets her actions. Her desire to win him back makes the 3 roommates stare in surprise once again. Xu Qinghe asks out of pure curiosity what she could have possibly done.
Wondering what could make Mu Wuyan cut her off, Yue Tongxue stammers that she falsely accused him.
Their deep resentment stems from a past life, making it impossible to explain the details. With a grudge only the 2 of them share, nobody else would ever understand.
Seeing how hesitant she is, Xu Qinghe decides to stop pressing her for answers. Everyone starts giving her advice, with Shui Man suggesting a sincere, face-to-face apology. Win him over with real sincerity, while Zheng Yan suggests finding out what he actually likes. Buy him an apology gift, act a little cute, and beg for his forgiveness. No guy can resist a girl being cute, but Xu Qinghe suggests just straight-up kissing him instead. That would literally make him forgive anything. But in the end, none of it works. Yue Tongxue finds their advice pretty useless and frustratingly ruffles her hair. Fast forward to Friday afternoon. She buys 4 bottles of cola and heads to the basketball court with a paper bag. If she remembers correctly, our male lead never has any classes on Friday afternoons. He is always here playing basketball surrounded by a massive crowd of girls. 80% of these girls do not even understand basketball, and they definitely are not watching the game. They are not there for the sport, they are only there for the guys playing it. Today, Yue Tongxue is wearing a beautiful light purple dress. With her hair in a simple ponytail, she is clearly not someone who loves dressing up. Yet just by standing there, she effortlessly draws everyone's eyes directly to her. Heaven was definitely fair here, giving her a naturally gorgeous face that stands out anywhere. And that is honestly all she needs. Now, the basketball court is split into several sections. 3 different groups are playing, but Yue Tongxue does not even have to guess. The court with the biggest crowd of girls definitely has our male lead, but she arrived late. Standing at the very back with her bag, she quietly scans the entire crowd. Surrounding her are all kinds of girls, representing every style imaginable. Seeing so many girls there just for him makes her feel suddenly helpless and panicked. Honestly, this is low-key heartbreaking. If he stops prioritizing her, do they even have a future? Suddenly, dark, heavy clouds begin to roll in. The wind picks up, shaking the leaves off the trees until they scatter everywhere. Yue Tongxue brushes off a leaf. Autumn is starting to feel pretty cold. Rubbing her arm, she instantly regrets not dressing warmer. She definitely should have brought a jacket as tiny raindrops begin hitting her face. It feels like a light, ticklish touch, but some girls already start running away.
Honestly, they are not scared of the rain. They just do not want their makeup ruined. They dread having their crush see them without makeup, but Yue Tongxue has no such worries. Her face is completely bare, so she is not afraid of a little rain.
Besides, she is incredibly stubborn, and once she makes a choice, she never backs down.
She will not give up easily. Then the rain pours. The game ends early because of the downpour, and the boys start clearing the court. Our male lead walks out with his roommates, heading straight for the exit. The remaining girls in the crowd quickly part to clear a path for them. A few bold girls even step up to hand drinks to the guys they like. They use the opportunity to ask for contact info, which is a classic move. 2 girls have already tried offering our male lead drinks, but he shuts them down. Yue Tongxue does not move forward. She just stands there, watching him quietly from afar. Maybe there is still some connection left between them, because even when surrounded by girls, sensing something, he suddenly looks up toward her direction.
But the very next second, he looks away with completely cold, indifferent eyes. Absolutely brutal.
She's just a stranger to him now, not even worth a second glance as he walks right past her. Yue Tongxue just lowers her head, silently following him.
Usually she's the type who would rather miss her chance than make a move, but she wants to be brave. She finally gathers her courage to hand him the drink, but he barely gives her a glance.
His eyes are totally cold, and he reaches out to take someone else's drink right in front of her. Since he does not need hers, Yue Tongxue just clutches her bag tightly, watching him walk away. Completely defeated, she ends up carrying the bag all the way back to her dorm. On her way, she overhears a few girls ahead of her excitedly gossiping about whether Mu Wuyan likes Shi Rui.
They are literally squealing because he accepted Shiri's water while ignoring everyone else.
Shi Rui blushes and tells them to stop, but honestly, she is low-key loving all the attention.
Who wouldn't be? She never expected her campus idol to actually take her drink today. Her heart was beating like crazy. Meanwhile, Yue Tongxue just stands there behind them, completely silent. Listening quietly to the gossip, she realizes she has way too many love rivals. What a total mood killer. She ends up dragging those 4 cans of cola back to her room. The drinks end up in her roommates' bellies, while her friend Xu Qinghei listens to the tragic story.
Xu Qinghei thinks she should have just shoved the drink into his hands, regardless of his reaction.
Just do it! Yue Tongxue actually thinks her roommate's bold advice makes a lot of sense. But she is extremely shy, and a 20-year habit is not something you can easily change overnight.
It's hard to change overnight, but she really does not want to lose Mu Wuyan again.
So she decides to take Xu Qinghe's bold advice, no matter what he might think. No more hesitation. With so many girls constantly eyeing him, she has to act fast.
If she keeps hesitating, she might lose her chance forever. So the next day at the court,
Yue Tongxue returns to the exact same spot, carrying another fresh batch of drinks in her hands.
this time she brought green cans of Sprite, thinking that if she gets rejected again, she can at least take them back.
Since her roommates drank all the cola yesterday, she wanted to switch up the flavors today. Smart choice, honestly. Today, the basketball court is actually pretty empty, and there aren't many spectators. Probably because of the scorching heat, Yue Tongxue quietly looks around the entire court. And guess who is here? It is Shi Rui, the very girl whose water Mu Wuyan accepted yesterday. Yue Tongxue sneaks a quick glance, even though she does not actually know this girl. But Shi Rui definitely knows who she is, biting her lip while quietly sizing up her rival.
She is low-key annoyed because she thought Mu Wuyan had already lost interest in this girl. Like, what is she even doing here? Meanwhile, Yue Tongxue has absolutely no desire to talk.
She just finds a bench and sits down quietly, prompting Shi Rui to look away. Shi Rui immediately starts comparing their looks to calculate her own winning chance. Yue Tongxue is wearing a simple purple tee. She paired it with casual light-colored jeans and basic white sneakers on her feet.
Standing at 165 centimeters, she weighs just 99 pounds.
Her proportions are absolutely insane, with a tiny waist and perfect curves.
She has super long legs, but this outfit is honestly just way too basic.
It totally hides her body's main advantages, so her face carries the entire look. Without that gorgeous face, she would look like a total NPC in this crowd. Meanwhile, Shi Rui is only 160 centimeters, but she really knows fashion. She's wearing a dark purple tight crop top paired with a cute white pleated miniskirt on the bottom. Plus, she has height-increasing insoles to make her legs look twice as long. This clever visual trick successfully pulls off the illusion, making her look almost as tall as Yue Tongxue.
After sizing her up like this, Shiru gets her confidence right back. As long as Mu Wuyan gives her a fair shot, she refuses to believe she would lose to a girl with a total poker face.
Alright, so Mo basically decided to hit the court on a whim because his mind was absolute chaos lately.
He just needed to sweat.
Seriously, every single time he closed his eyes, he kept picturing that rain-soaked face. Even through the mist, Yue Tongxue's deep disappointment was just rent-free in his head. Suddenly, Gu Yuntian yells out to Mo, "Look, isn't that you-know-who coming to watch you again?" Mo freezes for a second, but his curiosity completely wins. The moment he turns to look, Gu Yuntian snatches the ball right out of his hands. Mo totally fell for it. Honestly, Gu Yuntian had no clue who was actually standing by the court. He just threw out Yue Tongxue's name to see if Mo would lose his cool. Mo freezes, completely annoyed. Was he mad at the lie, or mad that he still cared so much about Yue Tongxue? Either way, Mo immediately lunges and absolutely obliterates Gu Yuntian on the court. Gu Yuntian immediately starts begging for mercy, crying out that he's sorry. Mo completely ignores him while Fang Mingjie pulls the clown off the floor. Fang Mingzi laughs and asks why he ever thought provoking Mo was a good idea. He asks why his mouth is always looking for trouble as Gu Yuntian gasps for air. Dying of thirst, Gu Yuntian begs for a break and asks if anyone brought water. Fang Mingjie rolls his eyes, reminding him they all walked out of the dorms together. How would they have water? But Gu Yuntian just waves his hand, completely unbothered. He points to the girls nearby, confident someone will happily offer them some drinks. Fang Mingjie immediately cuts him deep, pointing out that any water would be for Mo. Gu Yuntian wraps an arm around Mo, declaring that whatever Mo gets belongs to the boys. He begs Mo to hand over any extra bottles since he's literally dying of dehydration. Seriously, the guy is so parched his throat is practically smoking at this point. Mo shoves his hand off, telling him to stop acting like a shameless beggar. Gu Yuntian whines, asking how Mo became so heartless over the break. Honestly, Gu Yuntian has been dying to ask this next question. He desperately wants to know what Yue Tongxue did to make them both act so weird. While speaking, his eyes suddenly go wide as some crazy theory hits him. He gasps and asks if they somehow pulled a total body swap. Gu Yuntian backs away suspiciously, prompting Mo to shut him up with a solid kick. Mo tells him to get his head checked before threatening to expose his secret drive. Please, just stop. Gu Yuntian frantically shuts him up, finally admitting that Mo is indeed a cold-blooded beast. Fang Mingjie drags the idiot away, telling him to stop living in a melodrama. Soul swapping? Pure nonsense. But wait, Gu Yuntian suddenly nudges Fang Mingjie. Yue Tongxue is actually here. He glances at Mo's back, realizing the tension is about to get so real. Seeing the group walk over, Yue Tongxue quickly stands up to greet them. But another girl, Shirui, slides in first and blocks him, holding out a water bottle. Her eyes are practically dripping with affection, making Mo instantly furrow his brows. That clingy gaze feels grosser to him than the sticky sweat covering his skin. Since Mo says absolutely nothing, Shirui's outstretched arm slowly begins to freeze. Her fake smile is crumbling fast while Mo just keeps his eyes locked on the floor.
His eyes are actually on Yue Tongxue, who is hesitating right next to them.
He isn't even listening to the other girl as Yue Tongxue finally steps forward.
She is a bit late, but hey, he hasn't accepted anyone else's water yet.
She offers it, telling Mu Wuyan it's for his roommates, her pale fingers trembling.
The bag dangles right in front of him, and he just gives her a cold look. With a freezing stare, he still refuses to take it.
Shirui glares at her rival, while Gu Yuntian is sweating over this crazy drama.
He nudges Mu Wuyan from behind, begging him to say something or give him a drink. Gu Yuntian is dying of thirst, so Mu Wuyan finally reaches out. Both girls watch him intently, and this is where Yue Tongxue's memories flash back. She remembers that in her past life, this overbearing man did the unthinkable.
To save her from a deadly explosion, he threw himself into the blast.
Covered in blood, his final words were for them to never meet again. Watching him die without a single regret made her absolutely lose it.
Talk about plot twists. The man she hated for years loved her to his grave. He literally gave up his life, even though they had already broken up. But back in reality, his hand is actually moving toward Yue Tongxue.
His gaze lightly drifts over her face, making Shi-Rui tense up instantly. Yue Tongxue looks calm, but then his hand suddenly takes a sharp turn.
He completely bypasses her, grabbing the water bottle from Shi-Rui instead. Shi-Rui is overjoyed, thinking Mu Wuyan really wants nothing to do with her rival. She throws a smug glance at Yue Tongxue, who immediately looks down.
Her eyes drop in defeat, a wave of sudden frustration hitting her.
Heartbroken, she almost pulls the drinks back before remembering her friend's advice. Stepping forward determinedly, she shoves the cold can straight into his chest. She immediately turns and walks away, leaving him completely stunned. Holding the icy drinks, he can only stare at her retreating figure.
Once she is gone, he casually hands the water bottle to Gu Yuntian. He tells him to take it, and Gu Yuntian doesn't hesitate to accept. Gu Yuntian chugs it down, shouting a quick thanks toward the crowd. He crushes the plastic bottle, tosses it into the trash, and starts chatting. He tries to strike up a friendly conversation just to break the ice. Shi-Rui happily plays along, introducing herself and saying they are in the same department. She mentions her sophomore accounting major, but her eyes are glued to Mu Wuyan. Honestly, Gu Yuntian can see right through it. This girl is down bad. Another admirer lines up, but our main character seems completely checked out. With a dark expression on his face, Gu Yuntian asks if he is drinking that. He asks for one, noting there are 4 cans in total. Mu Wuyan hands 2 out to his roommates and pops one open himself. Mu Wuyan chugs it down, making Shi-Rui feel a sudden pang of regret. Realizing he chose her rival's water first, Yue Tongxue returns to her dorm upset. But she hides the pain, keeping her face completely blank as usual. Her roommate Zheng Yanyan greets her as soon as she steps inside.
With a quiet nod, she listens as her roommate invites her to class.
Yue Tongxue agrees, opening up her phone to check the schedule as they prepare. Turns out she actually has a big data class tonight, so she cleans up her desk. After packing up her things, she heads out, finishing up around 9 p.m.
Yue Tongxue gets back to the dorm and grinds on homework since tomorrow is packed.
Turns out Zheng Yanyan sleeps right across from her, their desk chairs sitting back to back. They both grind away while Shui Man watches dramas with headphones on. She stays quiet to not disturb their study grind. With Shu Qinghe nowhere to be found, the entire dorm is dead silent. By 11 p.m., Yue Tongxue finally manages to finish everything she needs for tomorrow.
She stretches and crawls right into bed.
Xing Yanyan is totally done too, yawning constantly. She drops her pen and quiet quits, hoping the teacher does not call her name. Seriously, who even lied about college having no homework? Seeing them both in bed, Shu Man speaks up. She pulls off her headphones to chat, asking where Sister He went. Zhang Yanyan boots up her favorite game from bed, guessing she probably went home.
Shui Man casually mentions that Shu Qinghe is a local anyway.
She has a car, but why is Shui Shui so silent? Shui Man feels like Yue Tongxue is a bit lonely, even if she's usually quiet. Tonight, she is especially quiet. Yue Tongxue just sighs. And honestly, we all know that feeling. The second she gets a break, her mind starts racing over romance. Too bad Sister Hei's not around, or she could have asked her for relationship advice. What is wrong, Shui Shui? Spill the tea and let it out. We are your vent buddies, Yan Yan yells while gaming. She is totally multitasking, making Shu Man wonder if she will throw the match. Shui Man is curious, but Yan Yan says it is easy. She claims she can do 3 things at once, radiating pure confidence. There is not a game she cannot conquer, so Yue Tongxue shares her struggles. Now Zheng Yanyan is the ultimate quiet quitter when things get tough. She tells her to just give up and play games. Games are way better than guys anyway, while Shu Man listens patiently. She drops some solid advice, maybe try a different angle. Mu Wuyan is actually the sports head and in the running club. Maybe she should check those out, which Yue Tongxue thinks makes perfect sense. So she tracks down the running club president's info. Her friend request gets accepted instantly, and she gets their schedule. Sunday afternoon, at the northwest corner of the campus. That is the meetup spot, but when Yue Tongxue looks around, she does not see him. Instead, a guy in a white hoodie with a buzz cut walks over to greet her.
He asks if she is the new member. She just nods quietly.
He introduces himself as Tianhu, the club president. The other members stare at her, completely stunned by her visuals, but hesitant to approach. This new girl seems pretty cold and distant since she hates making small talk, especially with strangers, so she just takes a seat in the corner. She plans to wait and see if he shows up. The running club is mostly guys, and Tianhu asks if everyone is here. A guy replies that Mu Wuyan texted saying he is almost there. Yue Tongxue checks her phone. Tianhu just added her to the group chat. He lets her know they will post all future event times right there in the chat. Since the running club has no permanent base, their meeting spot changes every single time. She just nods, silent as always. Talk about a total ice queen. That is seriously everyone's first impression of her. But of course, a few curious guys still try to slide in and strike up a chat. One guy asks why she suddenly joined a running club, but she just stares off into the distance. Watching him approach, she calmly replies, to chase someone. Instant heartbreak. She already has someone on her mind. His little crush got completely shut down before it even had a chance to start. When asked who, she points straight at our main guy. The guy's eyes completely dim. Yeah, he has absolutely nothing to say to that. She is way out of his league.
He wisely backs away while our male lead spots her and freezes in shock. Why is she even running here?
All right, time to start. The starting point is the south side. The finish line is to the north, and they have a strict 1-hour time limit. Tianhu takes off right away, and the rest of the crew follows at an easy pace. Our boy is still shocked inside, but he keeps his face completely blank. Showing zero emotion, he does not even say a single word to her. He starts running at the very back of the pack, and Yue Tongxue scrambles to keep up. Since she is tailing him so closely, he slows down a bit and watches her. Finally, he cannot help but ask why she keeps following him, making Yue Tongxue blink. Out of breath, she gasps that she is just running and that she joined the club too. She never exercises. Literally never. Even though she is not going fast, she is already completely out of breath. He asks if she does not hate running the most, unconsciously slowing down even more. With her calves starting to ache, Yue Tongxue struggles to catch her breath.
She softly confesses that while she hates running, she absolutely loves him.
He freezes as his heart rate goes absolutely wild, and honestly, can you blame him? Deciding to ignore her confession, he keeps moving forward while she struggles to keep up.
She has basically zero stamina.
With her soul practically leaving her body, she is incredibly dizzy. The ground is blurring before her eyes, and he can hear her heavy gasps getting louder. Right as she's about to collapse, a light drizzle begins to fall from the sky. Thank goodness our guy finally stops and points out a nearby pavilion. He tells her they should take shelter, and she lets out a weak sigh of relief. But as she suddenly stops, her legs completely give out and she collapses.
She is absolutely exhausted, but her body just refuses to move. So here is the twist. She donated bone marrow to Yue Lanhua as a kid, leaving her with chronic health issues.
Strenuous exercise is a major no-go for her, instantly triggering intense dizziness. Hearing the noise behind him, he pauses for a quick second, but then continues walking forward. He forces himself not to look back while she huffs on the ground before finally climbing up.
She rushes into the pavilion right before the downpour starts and plops onto a bench.
Leaning back against a pillar, she closes her eyes to slowly recover some energy.
Yue Tongxue stands opposite him by the other pillar, gently shaking the rain from her hair. Our boy looks over and notices those beautiful, captivating eyes of hers are currently closed. With her cheeks flushed from running, he just stares at her face without holding back at all. At this point, his mind is flooded with all those happy memories from their past, along with the painful ones, while her long, curled eyelashes begin to flutter slightly. He quickly looks away right as Yue Tongxue slowly opens her eyes. Finally catching her breath, she straightens her back and steps away from the pillar.
She looks at him standing across, but he avoids her gaze, staring out into the misty rain instead.
Why is he standing so far away? Is he deliberately keeping his distance? Yue Tongxue figures if he won't come over, she'll just go to him instead. Even though her legs are sore from running, she slowly makes her way to his side. Standing shoulder to shoulder, they both watch the rain fall in complete silence. It's a heavy silence, especially since they have known each other for years. But their relationship has always been ruined by hatred, never quite peaceful like this. Now they're standing quietly together as the pouring rain slowly fades to a light drizzle. Our boy finally breaks the silence and turns to face her.
He asks with an annoyed tone, "Yue Tongxue, why do you keep pestering me?"
She looks up at his annoyed face and blushes, saying, "Didn't I already tell you that I'm going to chase you?" Staring at her blushing face, he can't help but let out a mocking scoff.
"Why are you even chasing me? Do you actually like me?" Yue Tongxue takes a deep breath, too nervous to look him in the eyes. She slowly nods and confesses, "Yes, I like you."
His gaze shifts as he suddenly reaches out, grabbing her chin to lift her face. Forcing her to lock eyes with him, Yue Tongxue has no choice but to look up. Meeting his deep, intense gaze, her eyelashes begin to flutter with nervous energy. He steps in close, grabbing her chin as he pins her against the pillar, making her back hit the wood hard. Her body tenses up as tiny, shimmering tears start to pool in her eyes. With her eyes looking all watery, she looks incredibly vulnerable and sweet in his eyes right now. He leans down, staring directly into her eyes as his face gets closer. Stopping just inches from her nose, his voice sounds low, husky, and a little bit teasing.
"So you like me? Then how about you give me a kiss?"
Alright, so ever since our boy reincarnated, he suspected his cold girlfriend is also a returner.
She seems to know he wasn't the one who drugged her back then, and that it was all a setup.
But back then, she only realized the truth when she saw him get blown up to save her.
That's when she regretted everything, and right now, Yue Tongxue is just looking up at him. A soft pink blush creeps onto her cheeks, looking incredibly shy.
His gaze is right there, and all she has to do is lean in a little.
But since she has never kissed anyone before, she still feels super embarrassed. Gripping her clothes nervously, she stands there completely frozen. Our boy scoffs, his expression suddenly turning cold and dismissive. He lets go of her chin, saying, "Is this what you call liking me? You won't even give me a kiss?" With that, he turns to walk away. But then, boom, a soft kiss lands on his lips, sending an electric jolt straight to his chest. Yue Tongshue's heart is pounding like crazy, her face completely red. This is literally the first time she's kissed a guy, even though they were married for 10 years before. But honestly, besides that one drunken night, they had never actually been close. Our guy did not want to force her, so he tells her this is not some innocent cheek kiss. That does not count. He hides his surging emotions, leans in closer, and raises an eyebrow. He points to his own lips, saying it only counts here, so Yue slowly closes her eyes. She wraps her arms around his neck, her long eyelashes trembling from pure nerves. As she slowly leans in, the entire room goes dead silent. She can literally hear her own pounding heart, her palms sweating like crazy. Watching her soft lips get closer, our boy just looks down with an unreadable expression.
His eyes are swirling with complicated feelings, and the tension is off the charts.
The air gets thick and heavy, but right when she is about to lock lips, he suddenly presses his finger right against her lips, completely shutting down the moment. Yue opens her eyes, totally confused, while he looks down and gently wipes her lips. A cold smirk plays on his face as he takes a step back.
He drops a devastatingly cold line, asking if he is forced to accept her just because she likes him.
"Where were you before this?" he whispers directly into her ear. His voice is ice cold, asking if she knows that delayed affection is cheaper than dirt. The rain stops as he turns away with a frozen expression, saying they will never be together. He tells her to stop clinging to him as his figure fades into the sunlight. Yue is left standing there completely frozen, looking up to hold back her tears. She desperately tries not to let them fall, but her heart is shattered. The pain is like a knife twist, leaving her buried in deep shame and regret. Bitter, confused, and fully aware that she brought all of this on herself.
For days, Yue walks around like a total zombie, completely out of it. She mechanically pours herself a glass of water and is about to take a sip,
when Shu Xinghe suddenly snatches the cup away and slams it down to snap her out of it.
Yue finally blinks back to reality, looking up at her friend in total confusion.
With a hoarse voice, she asks what is wrong and why she cannot have some water.
Xu Xinghe gives her a look like she is crazy, pointing out that the water is boiling hot. She asks if Yu wants to burn her throat off, which finally makes Yu snap too. Yu looks down, blushing to say thank you, while Xu Xinghe just rolls her eyes.
Like, is getting rejected by a guy really worth losing your entire mind over?
Zheng Yanyan pokes her head out from the curtains, completely agreeing with the roast. Seriously, he is just a guy. It is absolutely not worth all this drama. Why not just play some games with me instead, she suggests.
Trust me, gaming is way better than boys anyway. Then Schumann sits beside her.
She gently comforts her, saying it is okay because Yu is way too gorgeous.
Tons of guys like her, so there is no need to obsess over just one.
Hearing her roommates back her up like this actually makes Yua feel a bit better. But she is stubborn to a fault, a total headcase who cannot let things go. Otherwise, she would not have been trapped chasing fake affection in her past life. Even after being completely used back then, she still cannot bring herself to give him up. She literally cannot do it because he is the only one she wants. Xu Xinghe peels a grape, pops it in her mouth, and changes the subject. She asks if they want to join her department's team building event this Sunday.
Since she is the department head, she promises there will be tons of cute underclassmen.
So Xiran has this crazy special ability, which makes things pretty interesting. Shui Man is the first to speak up, saying she is down before glancing over at Yue. She begs her to tag along, hoping the other classmates won't notice her real motive.
Talk about a top-tier roommate. Xie Man is actually just trying to help Yue clear her head.
Ziran happily accepts her kindness and asks if the snowy resort has any gaming consoles.
Zhang Yanyan keeps her eyes totally glued to her screen, but then the vibe completely shifts.
She chimes in, saying since everyone else is going, she might as well tag along.
Shui Man laughs happily, saying their entire dorm absolutely needs to stick together. Alright, so they set the retreat at a scenic canyon for some hiking and whitewater rafting. With Yu and her friends joining, they end up with a group of over 20 people. They arrive at the resort in their chartered bus, but an Audi is already parked right there. 3 guys step out and one of them immediately calls out to Yu in surprise. Honestly, since Yu got rejected by Mo, the two of them haven't met in ages. Mo glances over at her, but Yu just keeps her head down, completely silent. Talk about awkward. Xu Qinghe frowns at the sight, walking straight up to Gu Yuntian to confront him.
He asks why he's here, while Gu Yuntian just leans casually against his car.
He smirks nonchalantly, mentioning that this is the very first retreat for the new recruits. He asks how he could skip it, though Gu Yuntian is technically Xu Qinghe's subordinate. As the public relations vice president, he smoothly mentions he brought 2 of his roommates. He asks if it's cool, but Xu Qinghe just gives him a cold, hard stare. He glances over at Mo with a totally unreadable look, then finally turns and walks away. He mutters that he doesn't care, then whispers to Yu that he didn't know Gu Yuntian would come. Yu just shakes her head, saying it's fine and they should just let things be. She tells him to ignore it so they can just have fun with the other 20-somethings. The vibe quickly gets super hyped as Yu, Shui Man, and the girls start walking. Sheng Yanyan is right there with them, while Xu Qinghe leads as the department president. He looks out for the new juniors while Gu Yuntian keeps hovering around Yi, laughing. Meanwhile, Mo is walking way on the other side of the crowd with his roommate, Fang Mingjie. He keeps his head down, walking in total silence, honestly not even knowing his own mind. He wonders why he even joined this boring retreat, but it all started with Gu Yuntian. Once he heard Xu Qinghe was bringing roommates, Mo had a total brain fade and rushed over. But the second he actually sees Yue, his impulsive brain completely freezes up and cools down. Now he is just beating himself up for acting so crazy, especially knowing Yu's proud personality. Her trying to get close to him before took massive courage, especially after being rejected so brutally. A proud girl like her is definitely never going to crawl back to him again. Right then, Fang Mingjie throws an arm around Mo's shoulder and whispers right in his ear. He asks him why he suddenly decided to show up to a random retreat like this. He asks if it's all because of Yu, but Mo instantly tells him to shut up. Even though his buddy totally reads him like a book, Mo just cold-facedly denies everything. He would literally rather die than admit it, especially after the huge claims he made back in the dorm. He swore that if he ever liked Yue again, he'd be a dog. Fang Mingjie just snorts. He tells Mo to just keep acting tough and watch what happens. With so many younger guys around, someone is bound to start making a move on Yue soon. And honestly, regardless of Yue's cold personality, her face is still absolute top tier. She's easily the most stunning girl in the entire crowd, and Mo is gonna regret this. He keeps his eyes down. Expression? Ice cold.
Honestly, who cares who is chasing him? We have zero connection anyway.
Fine, keep being stubborn. Fang Mingjie sighs, finally letting him go. He does not even bother arguing, not like he's the one who will be stressing later. Li Tongxue sits on the grass, flanked by Zheng Yanyan and Shui Man. He collapses on the turf, gasping for air and wiping away cold sweat. Legs completely gave out, dead tired. They basically carried him up. Honestly, this guy's stamina is absolute trash. And she sits right next to him, asking how he is weaker than a literal shut-in. Meanwhile, she is not even out of breath, making him feel incredibly weak. He usually avoids any form of exercise, preferring to just lie down all day. But even he never got this exhausted. Thankfully, Shui Man hands him some water. She gently pats his back, telling him to drink up and catch his breath. He mutters a quick thanks, and after 5 minutes, he finally recovers. He finally answers Yan Yan, explaining that he had a major surgery as a kid. Because of that, his health is pretty weak and he rarely works out anyway. With his low lung capacity, any long-distance walking completely drains his energy. Oh, so that is why. Still, Yan Yan tells him this is not healthy. He really needs some light, regular exercise to build up his physical strength. Zheng Yanyan wipes her own sweat as Li Tongxue nods, promising he will try. He says he will exercise 30 minutes a day when suddenly 2 guys walk over. They sit down right next to the group, looking like typical fresh-faced freshmen. Freshmen, definitely. They immediately walk up to greet the seniors. Shui Man gives them a sweet smile back before the 2 boys introduce themselves. One of them, Yang Zhou, proudly reveals he's in the computer science department. Yang Zhou has dark skin and sharp features, giving off a really energetic vibe. He has a bright, sunny smile, and turns out he is actually their direct junior. Young Yan Yan beams with a warm smile, and Yang Zhou's eyes instantly light up. No shot! Same major? What a miracle! He instantly hits it off with Zheng Yanyan, jumping straight into talking about video games. They talk about classes, and guess what? They actually grew up in the same hometown. Wait, same high school too? Small world. The chemistry here is insane, and it feels like they have known each other for years. Best of all, Yang Zhou plays every single game that Zheng Yanyan is obsessed with. Plus, he is actually good at them, but Yanyan realizes the group setting is too loud. Too crowded, so she literally pulls him aside to talk privately. They even pull out their phones and start gaming, speechless. Plot twist of the century. Talk about a romance speedrun. His buddy just smooth-talked a senior. Left behind, he is low-key crying inside. Determined to not lose out, he quickly introduces himself as a chemical engineering student. His name is Li Kun, and Shui Man politely gives him a warm hello. While his friend was chatting, Li Kun was busy quietly sizing up the 3 girls. He quietly ranks them. The middle girl? Cold, distant, unapproachable. The girl on the left is energetic, though. But she is not really his type, and she did not seem that interested anyway. The girl on the right looks pretty gentle, with that classic soft and clean look. Soft-spoken and low-key gorgeous. Plus, she does not seem overly dominant or bossy at all. Honestly, she fits almost all of Li Kun's standards, except for that final deal-breaker. If her family background is rich, he will go for it. But the moment the name Li Kun is mentioned, Yue Tongxue's calm face completely shifts. A sudden wave of shock flashes through her eyes before quickly vanishing, followed by a burst of pure, barely suppressed anger as she finally looks up. She starts carefully sizing up this junior student named Li Kun, sitting right next to them. The more she stares, wait, it is actually him. Talk about a plot twist, our regression MC already suspects his cold girlfriend is also a returner. She already knows her toxic stepsister set her up back then. But she only realized how much she messed up after seeing our MC die in an explosion to save her. She lived with that regret. But right now, in this new life, Yue Tongxue is staring dead at Li Kun. Meanwhile, our MC is watching his girl stare at some random guy.
This instantly triggers our MC, making him low-key furious as he internally scoffs at Yue Tongxue. Like, is this what you call loving me? Giving up on him this fast? Moving on to another guy already? Yue Tongxue has no idea our MC is overthinking this hard. Her entire focus is on Shui Man and Li Kun, whose eyes are glued to Shui Man. Sporting a gentle smile, the scumbag starts chatting her up in a soft voice. In no time, this guy smoothly transitions from calling her senior to calling her Man. The shift is so effortless that it does not even feel awkward. Hearing him drop her nickname so casually actually fits perfectly. Yue Tongxue's fists clench. Her knuckles turn white as her eyes flicker with deep unease.
She low-key wonders if people destined for complete tragedy are bound to cross paths no matter what.
Glaring at the polite-looking Li Kun, her eyes turn freezing cold. I mean, who would expect this well-dressed, seemingly perfect gentleman to be a total monster?
Deep down, he is pure trash, and he completely ruined Shui Man in their past life. She suffered unspeakably because of him, and ultimately paid with her own life.
2 lives lost. Ruined. Even after passing, people still treated her tragedy like some cheap gossip.
Back then, Yue Tongxue was pretty distant from her roommates and minded her own business.
So when it came to Shu Man and this scumbag, she only knew the basic outline.
She did not know the exact details, nor did she have any clue at all.
About when their relationship actually started, she is absolutely sure of one thing. They met much later back then.
It is wild that her own regression actually caused them to cross paths way too early. But in this timeline, she is absolutely not letting this toxic trash ruin her friend again. Right on cue, Li Kun pulls out his phone to ask for her contact info. Shui Man smiles, ready to agree. But Yue Tongxue acts fast.
Her voice sounds incredibly weak, her brows tightly furrowed in pain. She clutches her stomach, whimpering out that she feels absolutely terrible.
Begging Shui Man to accompany her to the restroom, she completely cuts off the exchange. She pulls her hand back, looking at her classmate Sui Shui with worry. Are you okay? Shui Shui just sighs that her stomach is killing her.
I cannot walk by myself right now, Man. Can you help me to the restroom?
Sure, Shu Man says, completely forgetting about adding the guy on social media. She immediately helps Shui Shui stand up and carefully guides her out of the room. Once the 2 girls are gone, Li Kun taps the edge of his phone.
He squeezes his phone case tight, disappointment flashing deep in his eyes.
He was literally 1 second away from getting Shui Man's contact info. Honestly, Shi Man is way more interesting than he expected, totally innocent and cute. She is completely clueless about the world and has 0 dating experience. A middle-class girl living in a total fairy tale world. She barely fits his standards, but this guy seriously thinks he has plenty of chances. He is convinced she cannot escape him. Meanwhile, inside the restroom, Shui Man stares at Shui Shui's pale face with deep worry. If you were really sick, maybe we should just go home, but Shui Shui stays silent. Her body is actually shaking. Shui Shui, why are you so pale? Where does it hurt? But her friend just stands there, speechless. Yue Man starts panicking, thinking her friend is in extreme pain. Shui Shui frowns, having absolutely no idea how to explain this to her. See, there is nothing physically wrong with her. The pale face? Talk about a plot twist. She just remembered how Shui Man tragically died in her past life.
That day, Shu Man leaped off the rooftop, leaving bright red blood pooling on the concrete.
It was like an endless flowing river, a young, beautiful life completely crushed. Snapped away just like that. Suddenly, Schumann gasps that her hands are freezing.
Shui Man squeezes her hands, her gentle voice snapping Shui Shui right out of the nightmare.
Shui Shui looks up with a heavy, complicated gaze, but chooses to stay silent.
She only squeezes her hand back. After all, for Shui Man, none of these horrors have actually happened yet. But Shui Shui knows. This time she is going to crush any tragedy before it can even start.
She will protect her friend's life. Man, I suddenly feel pretty tired, she says.
I do not really want to hang out anymore, so can we just go home? Shay Shay casts her gaze downward, completely drained of energy. Shui Man tells her to sit and wait while she goes to inform their friends. But Zhang Yanyan and Yang Zhou are too busy gaming to leave just yet. Plus, Xu Qinghe is the club president, so he definitely cannot sneak out early. Shui Man understands that, so she just came over to let them know. Sitting alone, Shui Shui quietly watches the other college students laughing and joking around. They are full of youthful energy, while her own eyes remain completely still. It is hard to tell what she is thinking as her gaze drifts. She looks at Yang Zhou and Yanyan gaming, then shifts over to the girls. She spots Li Kun happily chatting up other girls. Is this really youth? Full of hidden schemes, but still somehow pure and full of life. Suddenly, her eyes lock with a deep, scanning gaze across the crowded room. Their eyes meet for a brief second before she quickly looks away. She shifts her gaze to the distant mountains, completely swallowed by the heavy mist. Yu's face is totally blank as she nervously bites her lip. She looks away just as Shui Man runs up, telling her it's time to go. Shui Man says, "Shui Shui, let them keep playing. I'll head back with you." Apparently, some random junior is supposed to drive them back, so they start heading out. Yu gets up, grabs Shu Man's hand, and they leave the party first. Honestly, she got what she wanted, getting Shui Man away from the drama. She needed to cut off any chance of her friend getting near Li Kun. They walk over to the parking lot, and a familiar Audi pulls right up. But as the window rolls down, the driver is definitely not who they expected. Instead of some random junior, they see a super cold, incredibly familiar face. Yue is totally stunned. Wait, wasn't this guy just inside the party? How did he even get here so fast? Mu Wuyan just looks at her coldly. Sounding pretty annoyed, he asks what they're still standing around for. He tells them to get in, and Shui Man is the first to snap out of it. She drags Yu into the back seat while Mu Wuyan says absolutely nothing. His face is freezing, and Yue stays completely quiet too. Just zoning out. Shui Man is screaming inside. Wasn't a junior supposed to drive? Why on earth is Mu Wuyan here? The silence in the car is literally suffocating. Tires on asphalt, that is the only sound until they arrive. Total relief. Every second was pure torture. She glances at Mu Wuyan driving, then over at Yue next to her. Thankfully, Yu's color is returning and she doesn't look as pale anymore. Tactfully, she gets out, claiming she is going to the store. She promises to see Yu back at the dorm and quickly takes off. Now it's just Yu and Mu Wuyan, with her sitting diagonally behind him in absolute silence. Neither speaks. Honestly, awkward much after that brutal rejection? Seeing him again has her totally frozen, not knowing what to do or say. He steals a quick glance through the rearview mirror and sees her looking better. Mu Wuyan secretly relaxes, but Yu stays dead silent. She has zero intention of talking, which makes him frown. It actually annoys him. Why is she so chatty with others? But with him, nothing. She always wears this blank mask, and he wants to break it. He would literally prefer her screaming mad over this cold, lifeless silence. Acting like he's just air is driving him crazy, but Yue honestly swears she's innocent. She has no clue he's overthinking this hard, and if she could read his mind, she'd panic. Actually, she's just socially awkward, not trying to ignore him. Come sit in front. His cold voice suddenly breaks the heavy silence. Yue blinks in confusion for a second, then obediently gets out of the back. She opens the front passenger door and quietly slides into the seat. With her head slightly down, she sits there incredibly quiet. He rests one hand on the wheel and leans back against his seat. With a neutral face, he secretly watches her out of the corner of his eye. Yu is doing the exact same thing, her fingers twisting together in pure anxiety. Yu is totally dying inside, trying so hard to find the right words. The words just won't come out. I mean, she rejected our MC so many times before. But back then, he tirelessly chased after her. Now things are different. Chasing someone is no walk in the park. Honestly, she's looking pretty frustrated. Her delicate brows knit together as she struggles with her own regrets. But to our MC, it just looks like she can't stand being in the same room as him. Is being near him really that painful? She claimed to love him. Liar. These two are totally hopeless. One can't talk and the other overthinks everything. Our MC keeps a cold, stone face. pure indifference. He keeps his eyes glued to the wheel before suddenly breaking the silence. "Kiss me." Yue's eyes instantly widen, completely doubting her own ears.
She never expected the vibe to shift this fast. Wait, what did he just say?
She truly thinks she misheard and wants to make absolutely sure. But our MC thinks she's just playing dumb, or maybe she just doesn't want to. So he suddenly leans in close, stopping a mere 5 centimeters from her face.
Locking eyes with her watery gaze, he gently tilts her chin up. He narrows his eyes and repeats it with absolute authority. "I said, kiss me." His masculine scent brushes against her cheek.
Yue gulps nervously, her hands tightly gripping the edge of the car seat.
Too sudden. Completely unprepared.
Honestly, kissing him last time took every ounce of her courage. Now her heart is literally racing. Hesitation. They lock eyes in a tense 2-second standoff.
Disappointment flickers in the MC's eyes. If she really likes him, why hesitate?
Remembering what happened last time, her cheeks instantly flush.
She quietly mutters, "But didn't you say you would never be with me?"
"And that I shouldn't bother you anymore?" Hearing this, our MC just frowns. His voice grows impatient. "Are you gonna kiss me or not?" Yue just blinks. Even though she thinks he's acting completely bizarre, she decides to just stop overthinking and listen. No matter what he demands, she's in. She tremblingly reaches out and grabs his shirt collar. Closing her eyes, she leans in to kiss him, but the MC just stares at her face with a dark, unreadable expression. Nothing happens. Yue waits, but the soft touch she expected never comes.
Instead, he reaches out and gently presses his fingers against her lips. Ever since his rebirth, our MC suspects his cold girlfriend is also a regressor.
It feels like she already knows that he wasn't the one who drugged her in their past life.
She knows it was all her scheming sister's plot. But get this.
It was only when she saw him die in a massive explosion to save her that she truly felt the crushing weight of regret. Back to the present. Yue opens her eyes, looking completely lost. Like, wasn't he the one who demanded a kiss? Why is he stopping her now? His fingers slowly trace upward, his thumb gently caressing her face. Right where that tiny beauty mark sits beneath her left eye. He lets out a cold scoff. "You xiaoshu. You really are quite obedient, aren't you?" Instantly. He pulls his hand back and retreats, leaning comfortably against his seat. His gaze instantly turns freezing cold. This is so boring, Shashay. Yue is completely stunned. Like, what is this guy's deal? One second he wants a kiss, the next he's pushing her away. Baffling. She just stares at his cold profile, unable to find a single shred of emotion in his eyes. Pure humiliation hits Yue Tongxue as she realizes Mu Wuyan is just playing her. Honestly, this toxic tension is wild. Her throat literally tightens from pure rage and embarrassment, leaving her completely speechless. Talk about a tough situation. So she slams the door and bolts straight back to her dorm without even looking back once. Meanwhile, Mu Wuyan just watches her storm off with this smug smirk on his face. He is actually so toxic. All his random annoyance instantly vanishes. But check this out. A random student named Shi Ren is passing by.
He catches the entire exchange and sees Mu Wuyan getting way too close to Yue Tongxue.
Jealousy is literally dripping from his face, until he sees Yue Tongxue getting kicked out of the car. A wave of petty satisfaction washes over him, and he mutters to himself as he stomps upstairs. Mu Wuyan just sits in his car for a while before finally gripping the wheel again. Then boom, he floors it, speeding right off campus and heading straight toward the empty outskirts of town to clear his head. An hour later, he suddenly slams on the brakes. Slumped over the steering wheel, he is just trying to catch his breath. But honestly, he is feeling this crazy, satisfying rush because he finally figured out the exact way to push her buttons. I mean, after getting teased like that, she only quietly pouted. She did not even curse at him once, which makes him realize something. Compared to her usual emotionless, deadpan face, he actually loves seeing her express real feelings. He wants a Yue Tongxue who is full of life, whether she is happy or completely fuming. Later that night, in the girls' dorm, Yue Tongxue is tossing and turning in her bed. She is completely racking her brain, unable to understand what on earth is going on with Mu Wuyan. She has no idea he is triggering her on purpose and just thinks his mood swings are getting absolutely crazy lately. She even wonders if the trauma she caused him in their past life was too deep, turning him into this. With her head completely spinning from all the confusion, she lets out a massive sigh. And that dramatic sigh immediately grabs the attention of every single girl in her dorm. 3 pairs of eyes lock onto her as they ask her, "What is wrong, Shui Shui?" Shui Man is the first to ask gently if she is still feeling sick, but Yue Tongxue hesitates and tells her no. But she cannot resist those 3 pairs of extremely curious eyes, so she spills all the weird things that happened with Mu Wuyan today. She explains the whole messy story to them, even bringing up their previous bizarre encounter as well. After finishing, she embarrassedly looks down and asks her friends what they think.
She asks if he actually wants her to kiss him or not, and instantly, things get wild.
Zhu Qinghua instantly bursts out laughing, saying she did not see that coming at all. Mu Wuyan is actually such a troll, but Zheng Yanyan quickly tells her to stop laughing. Otherwise, Shishi will die of embarrassment. Meanwhile, only Shi-Man rests her chin on her hand. She gets super serious and says her 10 years of watching romance dramas makes her an expert. She thinks he definitely wants to, but there is probably some hidden reason holding him back. That is why he keeps rejecting her. Basically, he is dying to do it, but too scared. Xu Qinghe finally stops giggling and drops her usual, incredibly direct and blunt advice for a friend. She advises to forget what he wants, and next time he acts like this, just take the lead. She tells her to catch him off guard and kiss him straight on the lips to see how he reacts. She advises that she cannot let him keep teasing her, so she needs to turn the tables on him. Shen Yanyan nods in total agreement, declaring she is fully on Shi Qinghe's side with this. She says overthinking is totally useless at this point, so just go for it and get it done. Then, Zhang Yanyan suddenly pivots the topic, and everyone's eyes immediately land right on Xu Qinghe. She mentions seeing that guy Gu Yun Tian hovering around her and acting super sweet all day. She asks what is going on between them, since he is always trying to chase her. Xu Qinghe casually peels off her face mask, replying that the guy is just trying to win her over. Zhang Yanyan looks totally shocked. Wait, didn't you have a boyfriend? Broke up, he snaps, shutting down the conversation. Honestly, the roommates are completely used to Su Qinghe's lightning-fast relationships at this point. The guy swaps boyfriends faster than skincare, each one burning out like summer fireworks. Honestly, respect the hustle. But nobody interferes. To each their own, right? Lights out, Yue Tongxue quietly pulls the curtains.
He grabs his phone, frantically searching for self-help books on romance.
Seriously, can reading books actually teach him how to win a guy back? Theory isn't enough, though. He needs to whip his weak body into shape or he won't even have the stamina to chase his crush. 6 a.m., first light. The alarm blares and Yue Tongxue struggles for a solid 10 minutes before sitting up. Sleepy tears pool in his eyes, but remembering his grand plan, he pushes through. He grits his teeth, throws on clothes, and splashes freezing water on his face. Instantly awake, he packs his bag. He stuffs in his morning textbooks, planning to head straight to class right after running and breakfast. The morning campus is dead silent, save for a few stressed-out students rushing to the library. Arriving at the running track, Yue Tongxue carefully locks his backpack away. A quick warm-up later, and he's off, keeping his pace super slow. He focuses on the steady breathing technique his crush once taught him back in the day. Instantly, his mind drifts back to senior year of high school.
Back then, to cope with insane exam stress, he ran on this track every single night.
Pitch black, no streetlights. Running alone in the dark used to terrify him. But by night 2, his handsome crush suddenly appeared. The guy would always tag along with a bright grin, showing him how to pace his breathing. He easily chased away Yue's fears. Back then, Yue knew the guy liked him, constantly rejecting him. But Yue was just too cowardly back then. He deeply envied his crush's bravery. A total coward. Just watching from the shadows. But suddenly, reality snaps him back. Yue blinks, almost colliding head-on with a very familiar figure running toward him. It's his crush, wearing a light blue hoodie today. Talk about an intentional coincidence. Seeing him? Yue instantly remembers his freezing words from yesterday in the car, telling him to get out. There are only a few paces between them. How should he say hello?
Before Yue can overcome the awkwardness, those long legs have already brought his crush right up to him.
But get this, his crush just breezes past him like a gust of wind. He doesn't even spare Yue a single glance. Talk about cold. They are acting like complete strangers now. Yue stops dead in his tracks.
Staring at the ground, a wave of pure sadness hits him.
I guess his crush really doesn't want to talk today. Poor guy reluctantly starts jogging again. He keeps up his slow jog. Meanwhile, the plot thickens. Having run ahead, his crush suddenly looks back, only to see Yue moving like a literal snail. The distance is widening, and Yue isn't even trying to catch up. His crush is totally annoyed. Like, if he doesn't speak first, Yue won't even try? Talk about pride.
If our MC doesn't say hi first, Yue won't even follow him? So much for liking him. What a total liar.
He definitely wasn't this passive with Chunyan back then. Our MC's face darkens instantly. Hiding his swirling jealousy, he lowers his head and speeds up even more. He basically turns into a blur flying down the track. 2 minutes later,
As he laps Yue again, the sheer panic in the poor guy's eyes is impossible to hide.
bro, this guy runs way too fast. Our MC already finished a full lap. Yue barely made it halfway. The MC instantly catches the shock in his eyes. Our MC's mood takes a nosedive. Is Yue really that desperate to avoid him? Yue won't even utter a single word to him. The petty jealousy in his chest is boiling over. Yue has no idea about the massive drama inside his head. He just thinks the MC looks absolutely terrifying.
Deciding it's probably best not to poke the beast today, Yue instinctively shrinks his neck back.
He quietly slides over to the inner lane, desperately trying to play completely invisible. But this little dodge only pours absolute gasoline on our MC's short temper. Honestly, our MC is toxic as hell. No shot he is letting this slide. Right as they are about to cross paths, the MC suddenly takes a sharp step sideways. He cuts directly into Yu's lane. You never saw this sudden lane change coming. With zero time to react, Yue crashes straight into his solid chest. The impact almost sends Yue flying backward, but luckily, a pair of strong arms catch him by the waist in time, pulling him securely back. A dull ache throbs in Yue's chest, and the pain makes his eyes tear up. He gasps for air, looking so pitiful. Did that tiny bump really hurt?
Is that dramatic reaction for real? Our MC lets go and steps back quietly.
Creating some distance, but his gaze unconsciously drifts down to Yue's slightly parted, gasping lips. Why did you crash into me? The MC aggressively strikes first.
Talk about pure gaslighting. Yue's beautiful eyes widen in absolute disbelief.
This is actually crazy. What nonsense is he spouting?
Who ran into whom? Didn't you just crash straight into me?
Yue musters up his courage to argue, but the MC just blames him. It's totally twisted logic, but the MC doesn't show an ounce of guilt. If you were actually running in my direction, we would not have collided. Yue is completely stunned by this gaslighting, and honestly, same, this is wild. He is always bad with words, so he can only glare with wide eyes. Yue can't think of a single comeback. Looking at his puffed up cheeks, our guy looks like an angry little kitten. Our MC raises an eyebrow. Suppressing a smirk, he makes a totally ridiculous demand with a straight face.
To stop you from crashing into me again, you have to run behind me.
And run in my direction! Yue just bites his lip. Too tired to argue with this madman, he silently turns around.
He starts following behind, internally complaining about the MC's attitude.
Like, what kind of crazy phase is this guy going through today? Hearing those footsteps following closely, a tiny smirk slips onto our MC's face. Wiping the smile away, he purposely slows his pace down. He's no longer sprinting like a wild beast, but after a few laps, the footsteps behind him suddenly vanish. He turns to look. He notices Yue Tongxue is bent over, hands on her knees, panting heavily. He turns right back, stands before her, and frowns, asking what is wrong. Yue Tongxue looks up with a completely flushed face, tears glistening in her eyes. She weakly mutters that she is done running today. His gaze is instantly drawn back to her slightly parted rosy lips. His Adam's apple bobs. Seriously, what is wrong with him? Every single time he sees her, he just cannot stop wanting to kiss her. He wants to grab her neck and kiss her deeply, forcing down that crazy fire. Instead, he mocks her to cover up his own slip, calling her weak and useless, giving her the most punchable face ever. It actually makes Yue Tongxue clench her fists, wanting to punch him.
She asks if he is possessed because he is suddenly talking way too much. Taking a deep breath, she pushes down her anger.
Then she asks if he wants to grab some food.
Staring at her moving lips, he thinks it over for a couple of seconds.
He quietly nods and she swings on her backpack to lead the way. Since she just finished running, her breathing is still pretty uneven.
She keeps panting. He just walks with his hands in his pockets.
Following closely behind her, his eyes lock on her swaying ponytail. Slowly, his mind wanders as her figure in front of him overlaps with the high school girl from his memories. He was just like this back then. Just like back then, he is following behind, watching her ponytail sway. His heart flutters. Honestly, high school feels like a lifetime ago. Though his body is young again, his soul is tired and worn out. Yet Yue Tongxue has not changed a bit, looking as stunning as ever.
She is a total enchantress, capturing hearts with a single glance. Even random guys passing by cannot help but stop and stare.
Why is he the only one feeling old? Honestly, the emotional damage here is real. Why must he be the only one suffering? It makes him so angry. His face instantly darkens, and he quickly strides right past her. Walking straight ahead, he refuses to just watch her back anymore. No more hiding in the shadows, he is moving forward. Yue Tongxue watches him go, confused by his sudden speed. It might be a mistake, but she actually senses some anger. Did she make him mad? This regression twist has him suspecting she returned too.
She seemingly knows that he was not the one who drugged her back then.
She also knows her scheming sister was behind it, but only realized after he died for her. That was when she regretted everything. But right now, Yue Tongxue is just completely confused because she was literally just walking. How could that even upset him? Does he just hate people walking ahead? She silently notes to let him lead. Walking from the field to the building,
they have to cross a pebble path, with Yue Tongxue following closely.
She mindlessly kicks a pebble as she walks, while he continues ahead. His ears twitch as he listens to her footsteps right behind him. Measuring the exact distance between them, back then, he only ever watched her back. Our cold male lead is low-key sulking right now, desperately wishing Yune would finally look his way. And yet, he unconsciously slows down his steps, waiting for Yue to catch up. Finally, he can't resist sneaking a quick peek back, only to find that Yue is staring straight down. He is completely focused on kicking a random pebble, totally ignoring our guy. Like, really? He immediately starts spiraling, convinced that all of Yue's sweet words about liking him were lies. But that is just how he is, because whenever Yue is around, he can never tear his eyes away, which makes him think Yue doesn't care nearly as much about him. His jealousy flares up like crazy again, prompting him to abruptly stop in his tracks with his back turned. Meanwhile, our totally oblivious Yue is so focused on the ground that he has absolutely no idea. He keeps walking, and then, boom! He crashes straight into our lead's rock-hard back, unable to stop himself from whimpering in pain. Poor Yue already bruised his chest once this morning, so this second impact really makes it worse. Our lead slowly turns around, staring down with an intense expression. His lips are pressed in a tense, cold line, while Yue struggles to finally catch his breath. Yue glares up at him, pouting and asking why he suddenly stopped. Honestly, those gorgeous, upturned peach blossom eyes of his are literally like dangerous little magnets. Just one look from him instantly melts away all the cold frustration in our lead's chest. Every bit of his petty anger vanishes the moment he stares down into those teary, glassy eyes. Locking his gaze on those soft, rosy lips, our lead slowly starts closing the distance step by step. Yue gets super nervous under that heavy, intense gaze, his hands tightening on his backpack straps as he panics. He instinctively takes a step back, wondering if he somehow managed to annoy the big guy again. In the blink of an eye, our lead stops just inches away from him and suddenly reaches out. He wraps his arm around Yue's tiny waist under that loose hoodie, pulling him flush against his chest. Yue gasps in absolute shock, quickly putting both of his hands up against his broad chest. His eyelashes flutter nervously as he meets those deep, dark eyes. Honestly, this tension is completely unreal. Right on cue, a gentle autumn breeze blows and a single golden leaf drifts down from the branches. It lands perfectly right on Ye's hair while our lead keeps one arm wrapped tightly around his waist. He gently reaches over with his other hand, plucking the stray leaf with his long, slender fingers. With a soft blow, he lets the leaf swirl away before returning to the ground.
He looks at him and asks what is wrong.
He leans down and whispers it right against his ear in a low, incredibly husky voice. Yue just blinks innocently, looking completely lost and not knowing what to do at all.
He really can't read our guy's thoughts anymore since his mood swings make zero sense.
Wondering what he did to cause this, his eyes suddenly land on our lead's incredibly close, thin lips. Suddenly, a piece of advice from Shu Xinghei flashes in his mind, telling him to just kiss him. Wondering if a kiss would actually stipe the anger, Yue decides to make a bold move this time. His mind goes completely blank, and without any warning, he stands on his tiptoes and kisses him. He tightly clutches the fabric of our lead's collar, his hands trembling slightly with sheer nerves.
He is immediately wrapped in a clean scent of mint soap mixed with a cool, intense, woody aroma.
It makes his heart race like crazy as he squeezes his eyes shut.
His eyelashes flutter nervously as he clumsily, eagerly presses his soft lips against our leads.
The kiss is completely messy, yet incredibly sincere, catching our cold male lead totally off guard right now. His dark pupils instantly dilate, and a deep vortex of bottled-up desire completely takes over his eyes. The soft sensation on his lips feels like a sudden electric current shooting straight to his heart, completely shocking him.
He completely freezes, but once he snaps out of it,
Mu Wuyan suddenly pulls Yue Tongxue close, holding the back of his head while wrapping a hand tightly around his waist. He pins Yue Tongxue against a thick tree trunk, leaving both of their minds completely blank in that instant.
All logic flies out the window, leaving nothing but pure, unfiltered impulse.
Mu Wuyan completely goes wild, devouring those delicate lips as if some primal beast deep inside him is finally breaking free. It is an absolute sweet rush, with his lips tasting just like fresh lychees.
Mu Wuyan easily deepens the kiss, wrapping around his soft tongue without giving him a second to breathe. Their breaths completely tangle together in pure chaotic heat.
Who knows how long they stand there before Mu Wuyan finally pulls back. He buries his face deep in Yue Tongxue's neck, his heavy breathing hitting that ultra-sensitive spot. Leaning heavily against the tree, Yue Tongxue's brain is totally fried from a major lack of oxygen.
As his vision finally starts to clear, his entire face instantly flushes bright red from sheer embarrassment. He touches his lips. They're actually stinging a bit, making him wonder if they're swollen.
talk about a major milestone. This is his first kiss, and honestly, probably Mu Wuyan's too.
Yue Tongxue looks down at the ground, desperately trying to calm his racing heart. Checking the time, he realizes he is definitely going to miss breakfast. He gives a gentle, nervous push, telling Mu Wuyan that he really needs to get to class. Mu Wuyan looks up and lets go, acting totally normal like nothing even happened. He even thoughtfully reaches over with his hand to tidy up Yue Tongxue's slightly messy collar.
Seriously, the audacity to act this casual. His tone is completely calm and flat.
Without showing a single hint of emotion, Mu Wuyan watches as Yue Tongxue quickly says goodbye. But his clumsy, rushing footsteps completely give away just how panicked he actually is inside. As he watches the boys retreating back disappear, Mu Wuyan can't help but let a smirk slip. But his grin instantly freezes as a wave of regret washes over him. A flash of deep annoyance hits him for losing control like that. Meanwhile, in the classroom,
Yue Tongxue is completely zoning out when a classmate warns him the teacher is calling his name.
Sitting right next to him, Zheng Yanyan pokes him with a pen, snapping him back to reality.
He scrambles to his feet, thankfully pulling off some master-level multitasking to answer.
He thankfully avoids embarrassing himself and lets out a massive sigh of relief after sitting down. Zheng Yanyan leans in super close, whispering to ask why he looks so completely out of it. He mumbles that he is totally fine, but his mind is busy replaying that crazy morning kiss on loop in his head.
His head is spinning and his cheeks are burning up. With a face that red, there is absolutely no way Zheng Yanyan is buying his story. She immediately puts two and two together, asking if he ran into Mu Wuyan. She demands to know what happened, but he quickly tries to play it off as nothing. If it was nothing, his face wouldn't be this red. She asks if he got kissed. This girl is literally a psychic, leaving Yue Tongxue staring at her in absolute shock. Knowing she totally nailed it right on the head, her inner gossip demon completely takes over. She can't keep this to herself and instantly whips out her phone. She instantly drops an absolute bomb in their group chat, teasing some majorly hot tea. She texts that Mu Wuyan finally made his move, prompting Xu Xingyi to ask for details. The moment she reveals he kissed Shui, the entire group chat absolutely explodes. Everyone starts spamming, demanding to know exactly where he got kissed.
Staring at the crazy chat, Yue Tongxue gets incredibly shy, wishing he could just crawl into a deep hole.
Seeing his embarrassment, Xu Xingyi lets him off the hook, telling him to focus on class. They promise to get the full story tonight, leaving Yue Tongxue restless for the rest of the day. Yue Tongxue,
She literally kissed him today, so does that mean she still has feelings for him?
did she actually forgive him, or are they just playing games? Are they back together?
But it's been a whole day, not a single text from her.
Like, is there really nothing she wants to say? Yue Tongxue is officially losing it. He desperately needs to talk, so he finally swallows his pride and texts her. Come out and talk. I'm waiting for you by the ginkgo forest. 9 p.m. The night is pitch black. The campus streetlights cast a dim yellow glow, but she still hasn't replied. Yue Tongxue sits all by himself on a bench at the entrance. Whether she shows up or not, he will leave at 10 p.m. The dimly lit ginkgo forest is basically prime real estate for couples on dates. So he just sits there, watching couple after couple walk in hand. Couples keep walking out. He waits for 30 minutes. Just as he's about to lose hope, a familiar silhouette appears. She finally steps under the streetlight, and seriously, the tension here is absolutely insane. See, he already knows that she wasn't the one who drugged him back then. He knows it was all a trap by his fake sister, but still. It wasn't until he watched her die in an explosion to save him that he realized his regret. The wind is cold. Yue Tongxue sits on the bench, shivering. He quietly watches her as she walks over from under the streetlight. She is wearing a black jacket, hands in her pockets. The streetlights stretch her shadow out behind her, making it grow longer. It looks like it's about to swallow him whole. Nearby couples are staring, but the vibe between them is terrifyingly cold. She stops right in front of him. Total silence. Standing in the shadows, her expression is completely unreadable. Instead, she just gestures for him to follow her deeper into the dark woods. Go in there? Yue Tongxue completely freezes. He stands up, his voice dropping to a whisper, but only couples go in there. So what? She raises an eyebrow, her voice as dry as the weather. Yue Tongxue silently lowers his gaze and follows, intentionally staying a step behind. He keeps a respectful distance, staring at the ground, not daring to look around. But he can still hear soft, intimate whispers from the couples, making his face flush. His heart pounds. Finally, she stops and sits down. She claims a corner bench under a ginkgo tree, completely hidden in the dark. It's pitch black, and Yue Tongxue has to rely on the faint moonlight. He can barely make out her sharp, cold silhouette. What do you want to discuss? Her frosty voice cuts through the silence, completely stripped of any warmth. He bites his lip. His fingers are ringing in the dark. His voice is barely a whisper, carrying a final, desperate sliver of hope.
You kissed me today. Does that mean you still love me?
The air freezes, and honestly, my heart stopped for a second before she scoffed. Her laugh is dripping with pure disdain. But then, she suddenly leans in close. Her freezing fingers grab his delicate chin, forcing him to meet her eyes. Yue Tongxue finally sees her face, and her lips are curved into a smirk. The MC's eyes are full of pure mockery, like kissing someone actually means liking them. With a teasing tone, the MC hooks Yue Tongxue by the chin.
He gently caresses his cheek with a lingering, intimate touch, but the words coming out of his mouth are ice cold. He whispers that since Yue is so pretty, everyone wants a taste. No guy would ever refuse a free pass, and before you can even respond, the MC leans in and leaves a teasing, playful kiss right on his cheek. Pure, burning humiliation instantly floods Yue Tongxue as his eyes go wide in shock. He barely holds back the desperate urge to slap the MC, his chest heaving violently with raw, uncontained anger. But the MC just scoffs, lets him go, and lazily leans back against the tree. With a smug smirk playing on his lips, he casually tells him to scram if he doesn't like it. Toxic as hell. The quiet moonlight softly blankets his face, making his pale, furious cheeks look incredibly sharp. 10 seconds of dead silence pass. The MC thinks he's about to leave. Yue Tongxue suddenly speaks up, his voice surprisingly soft but crystal clear as he says he is willing. The smirk on the MC's face completely freezes, and he sits up straight. The teasing look in his eyes fades, replaced by pure curiosity. He asks if Yue is seriously down, even if this is just a game. Yue says yes, looking straight at him with eyes glowing in the moonlight. His gaze is filled with desperate determination, making the MC hesitate for a second. The MC's expression becomes hard to read, but after a few seconds, his initial surprise is replaced by an even darker grin, deciding that playing along is actually not a bad idea. The MC suddenly reaches out, aggressively grabbing the boy's waist with absolutely zero warning. He forcefully pulls him up from the bench, dragging his entire body to sit astride right on his lap. Before you can even process this, the MC cups the back of his head. A fierce, overwhelming kiss crashes down on his lips like a wave, making Yue Tongxue gasp in pure shock. He instinctively wraps his arms around the MC's neck to steady himself, forced to endure this incredibly aggressive, dominant kiss. Just as Yue starts losing himself, a cold hand suddenly slips under his shirt. That sudden, icy sensation on his bare skin makes his entire body shudder instantly as he trembles from the unexpected touch. As that freezing hand keeps sliding further up his chest, Yue Tongxue completely panics and desperately whispers, "No!" He instantly snaps back to reality, his eyes widening in panic as he frantically grabs the MC's wandering hand. With a mix of embarrassment and fear, he pleads that they are still outside. The MC freezes right there, letting out a helpless, frustrated sigh. He slowly pulls his hand back, chuckling softly with absolute indifference. He seems to find it completely boring. Forget it then. He coldly pushes Yue away and stands up, leaving the boy completely bewildered. Honestly, the angst is unreal as pure panic grips Yue Tongxue's heart, making him scramble up. He grabs onto the MC's sleeve, desperately pleading to know what kind of relationship they have now. The MC turns around, looking down cold-heartedly at his flushed face. He coldly reminds him that they are just playing around, so don't catch feelings. Or he can choose to be a secret, hidden lover, and those brutal words absolutely crush his heart. That cruel offer stabs Yue Tongxue like a sharp needle, leaving him staring back in utter, disbelief-filled shock. Is he really that shameful to be seen with? His shocked, adorable expression seems to highly amuse the MC, who leans right back down to plant another quick kiss on his cheek. His warm breath brushes against Yue's ear, asking if he is really going to refuse. "Didn't you say you loved me?" Yue Tongxue bites down on his trembling lips so hard that he can almost taste the metallic blood before finally squeezing a single word out from his teeth. She settles for being his secret lover, hoping that one day she will finally become his official girlfriend. This time it is Mo who is the main guy. He only suggested this casually, never expecting her to agree. Totally unexpected, Mo immediately locks down his emotions and puts on a cold, serious face. He coldly begins laying down his very first rule, warning her that absolutely no one can know about their relationship. In public, everyone must think she is still just chasing him, and second, she has to remember they are only playing. He is free to see other people, but she absolutely cannot do the same. Until this whole thing ends, she can only belong to him, which brings him to rule number 3. She has to be on call 24/7, fulfilling every single duty of a girlfriend. Yet, he does not have to act like a boyfriend at all, his cold voice cutting through the chilly night air. Every word lands heavily like a hammer, and then, acting almost merciful, he calls her classmate Yu. He offers her one last chance to back out because these 3 brutal rules are basically handcuffs. Classmate Yu literally calls this his doomsday treaty, but she can actually endure the first 2 rules.
She views it as her ultimate karma, paying back everything she owes him.
But her voice visibly trembles as she asks what specific duties she has to fulfill for Rule 3. Our boy pauses to think, then drops his voice with pure final boss energy. He says that whenever he wants to get close and intimate, Yue is not allowed to refuse. Hearing this, poor Yue visibly struggles. It's pure, instinctive resistance, which our main character catches instantly. Losing his patience, he immediately turns to leave, telling him that if he can't accept and stay far away, never show your face again. But Yue blurted out that he accepts almost instantly. He tightly grabs our boy's shirt, terrified he'll actually disappear. Yu grits his teeth like he's swallowing broken glass. He accepts this incredibly humiliating deal, but behind his back, our MC's lips curl into a smirk. Honestly, his toxic energy is off the charts. When he turns around, he casually adds that Yu must also handle his daily needs and obey every command. Yu just grits his teeth. What's one more rule anyway? Seeing him bite his lip, totally furious but way too scared to fight back, our boy just chuckles and pinches his cheek, saying in a totally casual voice, "Come on, walk me back." Yue looks up in confusion. Wait, shouldn't you be walking me back? Our boy pinches a bit harder, reminding him to remember his place. Outside the boys' dorm, it's a stark contrast to the lively girls' side. Quiet and cold, except for this pair and their incredibly tense vibe. "We're here! I'm leaving," Yu says, desperate to escape. But our MC doesn't budge. He clears his throat. "Aren't you forgetting something?" Yue Tongxue stands there totally lost, so Mo just taps his own cheek. He gets the hint immediately and looks around. Nobody is watching. He rises on his tiptoes. He plants a feather-light kiss on Mo's cheek, then panics like a startled rabbit. He literally bolts, leaving Mo standing there.
He just watches that slender figure fade into the night.
Pure bliss. Mo finally turns around, unable to stop grinning. He walks into his dorm in the absolute best mood. But Fang Mingjie and Gu Yuntian immediately grab his shoulders, teasingly asking him what happened. "Did you strike gold? Spill it so the bros can celebrate too." The MC immediately darkens his face, slapping their hands away with a warning glare. Relentless, Gi Yuntian lowers his voice and asks if it is about you. Our guy just gives him a freezing glare, making Gu Yuntian's skin crawl. Gu Yuntian awkwardly backs off. Meanwhile, over at the girls' dorm, Yue feels a massive boulder weighing heavily on her heart. She desperately wants to confide in someone, but the Apocalypse Treaty forbids it. That first rule tightly seals her lips, completely crushing her hope of speaking out. Carrying her pile of dirty laundry to the washroom, she scrubs them clean. But as she grabs the basin to leave, 2 girls crash straight into her. Boom, the basin slips from her grip. The clean clothes scatter across the dirty floor, instantly covered in mud. Oh, my bad. The short-haired girl apologizes. Her tone lacks any real sincerity, claiming it was just an accident. The other long-haired girl smirks down at her, offering a fake sorry. We really did not mean to, so do not blame us. Our hands are full anyway, so pick them up yourself.
Seeing her hard work ruined and dirty once again, Yue is beyond frustrated.
She frowns slightly, her chest tightening with absolute annoyance. Since they already apologized, she has zero ground to make a scene. All she can do is silently squat down to gather them. She starts putting those cold, filthy clothes back into her basin. "It is fine," she says calmly, bending down to grab a shirt. Then these absolute bullies step right onto her clean white shirt? Nah, that is insane. Yu freezes mid-motion, and her expression instantly turns ice cold. She looks up, meeting their mocking, teasing glares. Knowing they did it on purpose, she stands up and demands they pick it up. Her quiet voice carries serious weight, making the long-haired girl flinch. Playing the victim, the girl whines that they already said they did not mean it. Their hands are full, so why is she making such a big deal? The short-haired girl immediately chimes in, raising her voice a few pitches. Yeah, we apologized, so why are you still holding a grudge? Don't be so dramatic, they say, playing off each other perfectly. With a few clever words, they paint her as the bad guy. Nearby girls stop to watch, their judging whispers stinging her like needles. Yue is never good with words, her lips trembling in frustration. Her throat feels completely blocked, unable to utter a single word in defense.
She absolutely hates being the center of attention, making her skin crawl. Seeing her struggle, the two bullies double down on their smug attitude.
Knowing she will not fight back, Yu just takes a deep breath. Desperate to escape their judging eyes, she bends down once again. But as she goes to clean up the mess, a hand stops her. Now this manhwa is crazy because our regressor MC suspects his girlfriend is a regressor too.
She apparently knows he was not the one who drugged her, blaming the stepsister instead.
But it was only when she saw him die protecting her that everything changed. Yue is hit with instant regret. Looking up, she spots Shu Xinghe. Hands on her hips, Shu Xinghe demands to know if their moms ever taught them manners. Talk about pure boss energy, she calls them out for knocking into Yue. You think a half-hearted apology fixes that? No way, you did that on purpose. They flush red. They ask if she has to be so nasty, but Shi Xinghe just sneers. She has been sick of these two anyway. They are Shirei's loyal sidekicks. And literally everyone in their department knows Shirue has been chasing Mu Wuyan like crazy. Bullying her friend? Si Jinghe is not the talking type. She snatches the basin right out of their hands. No hesitation, she dumps the entire thing straight onto the floor. Towels, toothbrushes, cups, and even freshly washed underwear go flying everywhere. Total mess.
She stomps hard on their wet towels, her lips curling into a smug smirk.
She mocks their exact tone. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to either. Pick it up yourselves. Furious. But Shu Xinghe glares them down, leaving the long-haired girl on the verge of tears. But her companion quickly grabs her arm and drags her back, whispering that they should just drop it.
She is Shu Xinghe, the loaded public relations head, not someone to mess with.
Defeated, they swallow their rage.
They awkwardly pick up their scattered things and slink away in defeat.
The washroom goes quiet. Without a word, Shu Xinghe helps Yu pick up her dirty clothes.
She even helps her wash them again.
Back at the dorm, Yu looks at Shu Xinghe with absolute starry-eyed adoration. Seriously, watching bullies get folded is the best feeling ever. But turning around, she meets Yu's laser-focused gaze. She laughs, telling her to stop because she only likes guys. Instantly, Shui Man and Zheng Yanyan smell gossip. They crowd around, demanding details, and Yu spills the whole story. Just like that, Shu Xinghe has 3 sets of adoring eyes locked on her. Oh, it was nothing. She slaps on a face mask, telling him to stop staring. You look like 3 glowing light bulbs. Creepy. Sister Xinghe is legendary, Zheng Yanyan chants first.
Shui Man immediately chimes in, chanting the exact same thing.
Smiling, Yu joins the chant.
Sister Xinghe is legendary.
A massive smile creeps onto Shu Xinghe's face as she tells them to stop. Be quiet. Then she cuts straight to the point. This is all Mu Wuyan's fault. They are roommates with Shui Ri, his stalker. Yue freezes. The guy in the dorm next door? Shirue likes Mu Wuyan? How did the entire universe know this except for her? Zheng Yanyan immediately starts dramatic yelling, complaining about how little attention Yue Tongxue actually pays to Xinghe. She defends her quiet friend, insisting there is absolutely no way she would ever offend anyone. It all traces back to Mu Wuyan, that poet guy next door. Since Shui Man is in the same class as Mu Wuyan, she low-key knows all the hot gossip. Last Qixi, in front of everyone. He tried to gift Mu Wuyan a hand-knit scarf, only to get brutally rejected on the spot. Hearing the word scarf instantly pricks Yue Tongxue's heart like a sharp needle. He barely remembers last Qixi, but this moment forces him to realize something low-key heartbreaking. Xinghe had showered him with countless gifts since they were kids, yet he never gave Xinghe a single thing back.
All his constant talk about liking Xinghe was honestly just empty words with zero real action. No wonder Xinghe never believed him. Meanwhile, next door, things are getting tense. The long-haired and short-haired girls are absolutely fuming, and the tension is off the charts.
One of them angrily slams her basin onto the floor, loudly complaining to Shirui while she rolls out her yoga mat. They rant about how out of line Xu Xinghe was, claiming they only wanted to help her vent some anger.
All they wanted was to teach that emotionless face a lesson for always shamelessly flirting with Mu Wuyan.
He actually meddled. Shirui freezes.
She slowly sits up. To her, Xu Xinghe is just a spoiled rich kid who thinks he owns the place.
He is incredibly arrogant, and apparently he is even running for student union president now. Gritting her teeth, the short-haired girl admits they do not actually dare to completely offend him. She angrily scrubs her dirty laundry, while a flash of pure disdain crosses Shirei's eyes.
Rich? He is an empty shell.
His dad has a bunch of secret mistresses, and his mom is literally losing her mind.
She casually drops this massive family scandal, hinting that his future inheritance is not even guaranteed.
This juicy gossip immediately gets her roommates giggling with pure petty satisfaction.
But secretly, Shirei is already planning her outfit for next week's big basketball game.
She is obsessing over what to wear, wondering just how stunning she has to look to make Xinghe finally pay attention to her. She resentfully tells herself that Yue Tongxue only has a slightly better-looking face and nothing else.
What else does he have? Late at night, we see Yue Tongxue tossing and turning in bed. He scrolls through his phone for a while before finally typing a step-by-step tutorial on how to knit a scarf into the search bar.
He genuinely wants to make something for Xinghe with his own hands.
Suddenly, his screen lights up.
It is a text from Xinghe demanding that he buy breakfast and deliver it to his dorm by 7:40 tomorrow morning.
Yue Tongxue just stares. He replies, "Okay."
He is instantly dragged right back to being a basic errand boy. But hey, he did sign that totally unfair contract with Xinghe.
Even though he has no morning classes the next day, Yue Tongxue still drags himself out of bed early.
He throws on a simple, inconspicuous black tracksuit, casually ties his hair back into a loose ponytail,
and heads out to jog for half an hour. By 7:30, he is standing right outside the boys' dorm, punctually holding a bag of steaming hot buns and fresh soy milk. With his extreme social anxiety, he absolutely hates being the center of attention.
His entire wardrobe is basically just black, white, and gray to help him blend into the crowd.
But honestly, his cold, ethereal vibe still makes him stand out like crazy in the morning light. Guys rushing out for class can't help but stop and stare at him. For them, this chaotic morning suddenly feels a whole lot brighter just by looking at him. Meanwhile, Yue Tongxue's eyes look icy cold, and his entire body practically radiates a keep-away vibe to anyone who gets too close. Those trying to hit on her immediately backed off the moment they met her ice-cold gaze.
Yue Tongxue furrowed her brows in sheer annoyance.
She stared at the dorm entrance, wondering why Mo hadn't come out yet. Right on cue, 3 guys walked out of the building. It was Mo, along with his buddies Fang Mingjie and Gu Yuntian. Instantly, the ice in Yue Tongxue's eyes melted, replaced by a soft, warm glow.
She waved at Mo, and he casually walked over to her.
Mo naturally grabbed the breakfast from her hand, noticing the jealous stares of everyone around them. He suddenly reached out and gently patted her head with his warm hand. "So obedient," Mo chuckled softly. "I am heading to class now."
Yue Tongxue nodded blankly, her face heating up from his touch.
Watching this unfold, the nearby guys were completely dumbfounded. Their eyes were filled with pure envy, while Fang Mingjie and Yu Yuntian stared in absolute shock, like they just witnessed a miracle. "Am I dreaming right now?" Gu Yuntian dramatically rubbed his eyes. Fang Mingjie shook his head with a deep sigh. "The world is getting too crazy," they complained, quickly catching up and grabbing Mo from both sides.
"Spill it, Mo," they demanded. "When did you actually bag the school beauty?"
"You are holding out on us," but Mo just shoved them off.
Mo shrugged with a slight, subtle smirk. "We are not even together yet. She is the one chasing me, and I haven't even said yes."
The 2 buddies scoffed in perfect unison, but decided to let it drop.
After delivering the breakfast,
Yue Tongxue headed back to her dorm, arriving at the 5th floor.
Suddenly, the door next door opened and Shiri stepped out.
They bumped right into each other, making Shiri freeze in her tracks. She smugly scanned Yue Tongxue from head to toe with blatant hostility.
Yue Tongxue instantly recognized her as the girl who tried giving Mo water.
Never one for drama, she could clearly feel the toxic vibes coming off her. A wave of annoyance washed over her, so she decided to just ignore it. She walked straight into her room and shut the door to shut her out. Outside, Shirei looked down at her carefully planned outfit, a cute pink princess dress paired with a white pleated skirt. With her hair styled in a side braid, she screamed aesthetic perfection. Comparing herself to Yue Tongxue's boring, plain black tracksuit, she felt a massive wave of superiority. Meanwhile, the class bell rang. The second Mo stepped out of the classroom, someone rushed right in front of him. Wait, he suspected his cold girlfriend was also a regressor who knew the truth? That she knew Mo wasn't the one who drugged her, but rather her scheming sister. But she only realized her regret after seeing Mo die in an explosion to save her.
That is low-key heartbreaking. But back to the present. Mo coldly looked up at her.
His icy gaze landed on the girl as he asked, "What do you want?" It was Shirui, biting her lip nervously with flushed cheeks. She gathered her courage, shoved a card into Mo's arms, and bolted. "Yo, Mo, what's that good stuff?" Gu Yintian asked, wrapping his arm around him. Mu Wuyan frowns, flipping open a card under his friend's gossiping gaze. The bold title on the card practically screams, "The First Love Letter to Mu Wuyan." It is packed with tiny handwriting, but he does not even bother reading it. He casually tosses the letter into a hallway trash can, making Gu Yuntian complain out loud.
That girl spent so much time writing this, you should at least read it.
Mu Wuyan shoots him a cold glare. If you want to read it, go dig it out yourself. It is for you and I do not need it.
Gu Yuntian smirked, asking if he would feel the same if it came from Yue Tongxue.
Mu Wuyan pauses for a split second before walking on like nothing happened. He sounds totally convinced as he claims she would never do something so utterly pointless like this. But right after saying that, a sharp, unpleasant memory suddenly flashes through his mind. He remembers the time he accidentally stumbled upon her carefully hidden diary. Inside those secret pages of her diary, she had poured out her deepest, most delicate romantic feelings about another man. It was a hidden, raw crush. Maybe she is not above doing cheesy things like this. She just would not do them for him. In an instant, his entire gaze turns freezing cold. That completely harmless joke from his friend ended up acting like a sharp needle, stabbing directly into the most insecure corner of his heart. Sensing the mood instantly drop, Gu Yuntian awkwardly scratches the back of his neck. Honestly, this guy's unpredictable cold attitude is low-key way harder to read than any ex-girlfriend he has ever dated. Over the next 3 days, Mu Wuyan keeps running into Shirei absolutely everywhere. Every single time, she acts just like a startled little deer, shoving a love letter into his chest and immediately sprinting away. The envelopes are always neatly labeled in clear handwriting as the second love letter to Mu Wuyan. Then comes the third one. Gu Yuntian curiously snatches it away to take a look. He marvels at her impressive writing, asking if Mu Wuyan is actually going to throw this away? Mu Wuyan does not even spare it a glance, irritably pulling out his phone instead. The bright screen glows against his icy face. It has been 3 long days since he last contacted Yue Tongxue. Yet that very woman who claims she liked him so much has not sent him a single text message. A bitter, cold laugh escapes his lips, filled to the brim with absolute sarcasm and sheer irritation. This massive contrast behaves like a sharp thorn, digging deep into his chest. Shirei's bold, passionate pursuit only makes him feel that Yue Tongxue's supposed feelings are completely empty. It is just so pale and weak. He literally swore he would stay far away from her. He promised himself he would never repeat his past mistakes, yet she keeps pulling him back in. She somehow managed to spark a tiny flame in his dead heart, making his rock-solid resolve begin to waver. The scars from his past life run way too deep for him to fully trust her again. And yet he pathologically craves the idea that she might actually truly love him. He desperately needs her to prove it, to show him an absolute, unconditional love. He needs that intense passion to finally feel secure, but Yue Tongxue chooses to do absolutely nothing at all. She simply cast a hook, baited his expectations, and then left him hanging. Then she vanished completely without a trace, leaving him caught in a state of intensely craving her affection. At the exact same time, he is pathologically terrified of the pain she might inflict. This toxic contradiction traps him in place, forcing him to suffer in an endless abyss of self-torture. He becomes terrifyingly silent, giving off a dark aura that makes everyone step back. Even his buddy Gu Yuntian does not dare approach him. But here is the twist. While he is suffering deeply over some complicated and uncertain feelings of love, Yue Tongxue is actually out there struggling just to afford basic food. For the past few days, she has been handing out flyers off campus whenever she has no classes.
She stands on her feet for hours, dragging her lead-heavy legs all the way back to her dorm.
He just crashes instantly, too exhausted to even check his phone. He's completely broke after that last dinner with Zheng Yanyan. His card balance couldn't even cover a single meal, and campus work-study jobs were completely full. The tutoring chats were packed with greedy agencies, leaving him with zero options. Handing out flyers was his only hope now, but young Master Mo, who never worried about cash. How could he ever understand? The whole not loving enough drama is a total luxury when you're literally fighting for survival. Then, one evening, Yue Tongxue is dragging his exhausted body up to his third-floor dorm.
When his phone suddenly buzzes, it's a text from Mu Wuyan.
Meet at the usual spot. He instantly freezes. Realizing they haven't seen each other in days, he turns right back around.
He forces his aching body toward that familiar, quiet grove of trees.
The ginkgo woods are dark as ever under the night sky as he finds the bench in the dim moonlight. Mu Wuyan is already sitting there with his head down, wrapped in a heavy, suffocating gloom.
Yue Tongxue's chest tightens. Instinctively, he softens his footsteps as he approaches.
He softly calls out Mo's name, but before he can even finish,
Mu Wuyan suddenly reaches out and violently drags him over, making Yue stumble forward.
Falling helplessly into Mo's arms, Yue instinctively wraps his hands around his neck. He tries to steady himself, but Mu Wuyan doesn't say a single word. He just locks him in a brutal hug, as if trying to crush him into his very bones. Then a relentless, wild kiss crashes down on him with absolute terrifying force. It feels like punishment. Gently, please don't bite me.
A muffled, painful whimper escapes from Yue's lips as they clash.
Completely suffocated by the heavy kiss, Yue weakly tries to push him away. Mo's vibe is completely messed up. This brutal force doesn't feel like affection at all.
It is pure punishment. Mu Wuyan, let me breathe.
He finally manages to break away slightly, resting his head against Mo's chest. Yue's body feels completely drained of strength, while Mu Wuyan remains dead silent.
He just grips Yue's waist tighter and tighter, countless bitter questions raging in Mo's mind.
But saying them out loud would make him look like a pathetic beggar pleading for love. He would lose all his dignity. Mu Wuyan clenches his fists tight. Forcing all his raw, chaotic emotions back down, Mo finally manages a hoarse whisper.
Yue Tongxue.
Yue looks up into those dark, bottomless eyes, asking what's wrong. There's a familiar, clean scent on him.
It is the scent he knows so well, and Yue Tongxue instinctively leans in a bit closer to inhale.
But before he can even think, Mo's next word stabs straight through his chest. Mu Wuyan slowly looks up, his cold, long fingers pinching Yue's chin.
Smirking coldly, Mo says, I only called you out because I have needs right now.
Yue Tongxue? Did you already forget about our little contract? Mo pauses.
He uses a sweet, mocking tone to deliver the most cutting words.
Did you seriously think I met up with you because I actually missed you? Yue's arms instantly slip from Mo's neck, his body instinctively flinching away.
Those bright, beautiful eyes instantly lose all of their light.
Talk about low-key heartbreaking. So Mo only remembers him when he wants to use him? What does Mo even see him as? But fine, he's the one in debt.
He'll just endure it. After a brutal day, Yue Tongxue is completely exhausted, body and soul. With an incredibly weak, exhausted voice, she asks if he is finally satisfied and if she can go. She wants sleep, but he coldly asks what the rush is. His expression completely hardens, his dark eyes melting into the shadows. He asks if she hates being around him, making Yue Tongxue bite her lip and deny it. She murmurs that she is just tired, but this lifeless look is low-key heartbreaking.
It kills his last spark of warmth. He lets her go and coldly tells her to leave.
She lets out a tired yawn and tries to stand, but her knees buckle completely. Behind her, his hand instinctively reaches out to catch her, only to freeze midair. He pulls back. Why should he care? Meanwhile, back in the dorm, Shui Man is anxiously checking the clock. It is already 10:30 p.m. No sign of Zhui Zhui. Xu Qinghe just shrugs, having absolutely no idea. She has been busy lately, but Zheng Yanyan pops her head out with a clue.
She thinks Shui Shui is working a part-time gig because her meal card was empty.
Apparently, she had a massive family fallout and is completely broke right now.
Yue Tongxue walks in.
She collapses onto her bed, completely exhausted. Shui Man speaks up gently.
She tells Shui Shui to speak up if she's struggling, offering to lend her cash. Zhen Yanyan chimes in too, offering to spare 500 yuan to help out. The wealthy Xu Qinghe is even more generous, telling them not to worry. She tells Xu Shu to just ask her, causing Yue Tongxue to sit up in bed. Her heart swells, her eyes instantly filled with tears.
She tearfully thanks them, promising she will ask if she ever runs out of money.
Honestly, this regression twist is so wholesome. She finally realizes what matters.
The ultimate treasure of college is actually these incredibly sincere and sweet roommates. They come from completely different corners of the country, each bringing their own incredibly unique, chaotic personalities.
Yet they give her the purest kindness, making Zheng Yanyan playfully click her tongue. She jokingly warned Shui Shui to never ever look at a guy with those exact eyes.
That watery, pitiful gaze is so dangerously cute that even other girls cannot resist it. Happy laughter fills the room. Then, the lights go out. They drift off to sleep as her days slip by with lectures and part-time gigs. But ever since that last bitter argument, an invisible wall had risen between them. Total silence. No one reaches out. To survive, Yue Tongxue lands a part-time job at a boba-shop near campus. The tiny wage of 20 yuan per hour is her only financial lifeline right now.
She still thinks of him occasionally, but his smug mocking about whether she missed him hurts.
It is like a tiny thorn in her chest, making her refuse to go running back. One quiet afternoon, the shop wind chimes gently jingle. A customer pushes the door open and politely orders 2 iced lemon teas. Hearing a very familiar male voice, Yue Tongxue looks up from the cash register.
She completely freezes. The customer is Li Kun.
Standing right next to him is her roommate Shu Man, who is shyly pursing her lips. Spotting her behind the counter, Shui Man blushes and offers a shy little wave. Hearing her name, Yue Tongxue's polite customer service smile completely freezes. Her heart sinks. She has been so busy surviving lately.
She completely failed to notice when her roommate had started getting so close to him.
Seeing her so close to Li Kun triggers him. The trauma from his past life hits like a freezing wave. He instantly loses his cool, his eyes darting frantically between the two of them in pure panic. No matter how far things have gone between them, he has to tear them apart right now. The moment the lemon tea is ready, Yue quickly hands it over and pulls Shui Man aside. He lowers his voice, urgently asking, "Are you two actually dating?" Shui Man blushes red instantly, waving her hands in total denial of his words. She says Li Kun just needed a small favor and bought her a drink to say thanks. Yu is completely shaken. It is the exact trap this toxic villain always uses.
He grabs her arm, softening his voice as he begs her with desperate eyes.
Please, man, I'm about to get off work for my shift really soon. Can you wait for me just a bit? I have something incredibly important to tell you.
Shui Man glances back towards Li Kun's direction, hesitating for a few tense seconds.
But she finally nods, walking over to say a few quick words to him. You cannot see the guy's exact expression, but he can absolutely feel Li Kun's cold gaze scanning him. The glare on his glasses completely hides whatever dark thoughts he is holding inside. Honestly, this villain gives me total chills. It is like Yue is targeted by a venomous snake, just waiting in the dark shadows to strike him down.